Anybody here? Two people. I got all dressed up for this special hunting season version of Edgy Live, and two people are here. Where y'all at? I know I'm a little early, but I figured since Justin wasn't live, I'd just go ahead and jump on. What's up, Paul? How y'all like my new hat? It's two more than I expected. What's up, Keith? Uh, this is my special hunting season episode. Guys, this ain't just a camouflage shirt. This is level 3 bulletproof vest, y'all. Because if I learned one thing about hunting in Alabama, these fools would shoot you. Sexy hat. Thank you. I typically, put the roll in it, but I kind of like this flaccid penis look this thing gives me. And I just got this bulletproof vest, so I'm pretty proud of it. So y'all be making fun. Y'all think it's funny. When the Antifa come to get me, I'm protected. And don't think I'm not tactically ready. I got my Hunter Orange on, level 3 vest. Bam! Tucson hanging by the pocket clip. What more does anybody need? How could you possibly need more than that? I mean, yeah, I got some edgy American blades I could hang on there. I've even got that badass Freeman tactical knife, but I mean, what screams tactical more than this Tucson right here? There are the aisles on that cap.
What the shit is this?
I'm showing off my new bulletproof vest. I just got this thing.
I didn't know the kids section had an army surplus.
Dude, you know how hard it is to find a 2X level 3 vest? I mean, because it's actually military issue. There ain't a whole lot of double XL people in the military. But I got a hold of this one. I think about going live and letting Meathead shoot me with it on. Reckon they'd get some views.
Kind of look like Meatwad with the whole outfit.
Did you see the most tactical part of it?
What?
Tucson hanging by the pocket clip, son. How about that?
Nice. You know what's most impressive? You know what's most impressive about that whole entire get up?
What?
The fact that it actually buttons in the front.
Well, you say that because you were one of about 3 people that got to see that picture of me in that load bearing vest that I bought. It was supposed to be a 2X. It was not. I still got it. I give it to my buddy Tyler because he's a skinny feller, but we hadn't met up. I shoot a 300 Weatherby mag. Yeah, this ain't gonna stop at 300 Weatherby mag. I think this stops up to what is 3A stop up to 44 Magnum.
Yeah,
and that sounds good until you realize that 44 Magnum's a big heavy ass chunk of lead.
Well, here's the thing too. When they mean by stop, it means it won't go clean through. It'll still leave a massive cavity in it, which will leave a massive cavity in you as far as a puncture.
Absolutely. It's going to push that stuff in and break your ribs and your sternum and everything.
Bruise you all to hell. Yeah.
I ain't going off the deep end. No, I ain't going off the deep end. I just, I was looking at this bulletproof vest that I purchased. Now, I got a really good deal on it. I feel like if you have an option of owning a bulletproof vest and it only costs you $30, even though you're never ever going to need it. For $30, you should probably own it. So I got it. But I just thought it was so funny that I even owned it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go live in my brand new bulletproof vest.
What's up, Ryan?
What's up, Ryan?
What's going on, guys?
What do you think about my vest? Check it out. I even got a tactical Tucson hanging by the pocket clip.
Where the hell did you get that?
You know James Holcomb, the Tack Shack, Southside. He gets a lot of military surplus stuff. This was a brand new, never issued 2X
Where'd Ryan go?
3A vest. I don't know.
Ryan jumped off.
He's probably going to get his vest. I bet it's nicer than mine. This is the best part about a bulletproof vest. You just cup your hands in it and hang them right there. So if you're one of them people who don't know what to do with your hands, this is what you do with them. You stand watch all night like this, trying to stay awake. If you've been in the military, you know what standing watch means. Standing watch is not something that's just done during wartime or in like. We had to stand watch. Our unit, there was somebody there awake all night, every night. Of course, they just call it fire watch then. And literally, you're just there. You have to walk and make rounds every hour to make sure nothing's on fire. That's how the military protects their stuff. They got some poor 18-year-old kid, sleep deprived, walking around, logging that nothing's on fire.
You could also just put your hands in your pockets.
Can't put your hands in your pockets in the military. It's not allowed.
Well,
all right, seriously, you learn that very early. Don't let a motherfucker with some brass on his shirt collar catch you with your hands in your pockets. You know why that is? A long, long time ago, on some wooden decked aircraft carrier, I don't remember which one it was. It wasn't Enterprise. I don't remember which one it was. The older one. Guy was on watch. He was actually out on the deck on watch with his. I'm sorry, he wasn't on the deck. He was up in like 30 feet. What's that? I don't remember what that thing's called. It's got a name that sticks up out of the aircraft carrier. But he was standing by a rail on watch, had his hands in his pockets, and he fell asleep for just a second. And when he woke up, he couldn't get his hands out of his pockets fast enough to catch himself, fell over the rail, landed on his head, and died. So,
a moral of the story there shouldn't be your hands in your pockets. It should be don't fall asleep while you're standing up on job.
yeah, but they know that shit's going to happen. So, everybody suffered. Nobody's allowed to have their hands in their pockets.
What's up, Ryan?
What's up?
Who just asked that question?
You know.
Bandito, this is an actual 3A U.S. military bulletproof vest, son. That's what
They make those that fit you?
That's why I bought it. Did you know how hard it is to find a 2X military?
That's like an actual bulletproof vest.
Yeah, it's 3A.
Good God.
So who got the better deal with Salvation Army by finally getting rid of it in that size, or you picking it up?
I think him picking it up is a pretty good
I
deal.
feel like if you can own a bulletproof vest for $30, why wouldn't you? And I wouldn't just wear this. I've got a plate carrier, so I'm going to get a plate. So then I'll have a plate and Kevlar behind it. I'll be good. And then somebody just shoot me in the head.
Yeah, that's a big target.
It's not that hard to do.
Or you roll your ankle and fall down and can't get back up.
I ain't even tried to lay down so I can get back up in it because it's very stiff. Very stiff. So I appreciate that, buddy. And I actually had already told Ryan I wasn't going live. And then Justin didn't go live. And I feel like that's unfair to leave y'all with a whole Sunday night with no live stream. And I had something I want to show. I probably shouldn't show it.
Why are we zoomed in, by the way?
Huh?
Why are we zoomed in all tight?
I'm really zoomed in.
I didn't pick the format. I thought you did. You can do it. Yeah, do what you need to do.
I'm actually going to scoop way back.
I don't know how that works. Let me see if I can figure it out.
I think it's this one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Which one is that? Oh, the third one in?
It is.
Okay. All right, cool.
Put that right there. But yeah, man, I'm feeling a lot better today and yesterday. Actually, they put my foot in a. It's just one of those fiberglass, like 2-inch wide piece of fiberglass, and wrapped it. And just keeping it stable's helped a lot. I actually did some walking on it today, but my daughter just showed up a couple hours ago with an actual boot like they put you in after surgery. So I got that. So I'm going to go to the shop tomorrow for just a little bit. I ain't going to push myself. Because
why don't you wait till you see a doctor?
Well, that's why I want to go. Is because I don't want to set up. I got pretty depressed Friday, sitting at the house all day waiting on the VA, knowing that they were not going to call. I knew I wouldn't get a call.
That's bullshit, by the way.
It is.
That's the VA for you, though.
Yeah, and she put in that it was an emergency, and they never called me.
Well, the fact that they even let you go and didn't. You were admitted basically at that point. Why didn't they have you seen ortho while you're there?
That's not how the emergency room works. They see you and then they stabilize you and refer you to a specialist. And they refer
you. The orthos are on site, especially if it was broken in multiple places. That's something that they put priority towards.
I don't know, man. See, what else made me mad was they wrote me a prescription. And I had the money to get it, but I didn't want to, I'm not supposed to have to pay for my prescription. So I called the VA. And I was like, can I just bring the prescription to the local office and have them rewrite it? And they were like, typically we do that. She said, but when the hospital informed us that you were there, all they put on the chart was leg pain. And we can't cover a prescription cost for leg pain. I was like, well, you have the chart now. You can look at it and see that it's like it doesn't matter. When they submitted it, they put leg pain, so we won't be covering that.
Fuck off. It's broken.
I know.
I'm sorry. That stuff makes me mad.
Yeah.
I don't think I can wear this without a shirt on, buddy. I think that'd be pretty uncomfortable. But this thing is stiff as, and it's not any softer on the inside.
So how did you break your ankle?
I don't know. Like, when I was at Javon's, when I went up there to visit with him and Richard, when I stepped out of Richard's RV, it felt like I sprained it. But that was the 4th or 5th time I had felt that. So, like, periodically, like once a week, it just start to hurt. I don't remember the initial injury. I just don't know. That's why, I kind of just rolled with it when they said gout, because it just started hurting. I have no idea. What's up, Neil?
Just rolled with it, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, so you technically had your back blown out.
That won't be the last time he has his back blown out.
Hello, Mr. McKenzie.
It might have something to do with that.
Do what?
969 says all the potholes in the strip club parking lot.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes, I really don't know how I did it. It just, what was weird was I had started taking this supplement. I talked to Kyle about this. I took it for about 10 days, and this pain started. And so I immediately looked up the supplement, and it said that it can cause a rise in saric acid, which can lead to gout. So I even told Kyle that. I was like, I'm going to stop taking it, see if it gets better. And it did. And then it came back. And then it got better. And then it came back. So I just assumed that I had caused this gout outbreak by taking that supplement. But apparently not. But I do appreciate the guys who have seen the bright side of this, like Dr. Drew Dude and Maddie, a couple other people have mentioned. At least I don't have to stop eating the foods that I like.
Or deal with that for the rest of your life.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this, now that I'm hoping it just be one of those situations where I keep it stabilized. And Jeffrey, I don't know. I heard the word shattered. I heard broken in 3 places, broken in 3 pieces. I heard that my heel was also broke. So I don't know exactly. So, yeah.
I just don't know how the hell you break your ankle and foot and heel and not know.
Dude,
That's
my,
okay.
ex, my ex-mother-in-law broke her stepping off of her porch. Was literally there was a step this tall down to the sidewalk. She just stepped down and broke it.
I mean, but to not feel it though, you were on it for over a month.
Right. And she was she was also post-menopausal female, so her bones were not in great shape.
I don't know who that is. You know who that is?
CG Dog 27. Sup, Mo Finkel? Hey, Dick Hank, low I don't know who that is. That looks like
Anybody who wishes that on me is my friend.
Yeah, and does that not look like one of OCD's dogs? I know they had an older. I don't know. I'm not sure who that is.
Well, it sucks for the fact that they have all these stupid names now. They don't have the actual screen names. So, you know who that might be? Cliff.
It may be.
No, it's Bugsy. Well, Bugsy, we can't. All we see is this name here. We don't see your Bugsy's name. It doesn't pop up, so.
YouTube's been doing that lately. It's defaulting back to I don't know why it's doing that.
Suck it, Bugsy.
It's kind of random when it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll fix it, and then you go on another live stream, and it's doing it there again. So I don't know. But I wanted to make this live stream and talk about this whole thing, because it's already had me at a damn near a crawl pace being able to work over the past month. So I apologize to anybody that's waiting on me. At least now we know why I've not been able to work. But yeah, I got
it healed.
So what I'm going to do when I go to the shop, I'm just going to shape my scales, get the holes drilled in them, and bring it all home. I'm not planning on being on my foot more than 30 minutes, and I'm going to put my knee on a stool so I don't have to put any weight on it. And then when I get home, I can glue them all up. And that brings us to why I wanted to go live. I wanted to show y'all something, and I was not at all prepared. I got this silly idea and forgot to get it, so I'm going to run and grab it.
Thanks, Cheeto. I'm glad you caught that.
Show y'all one of the many pains in the ass of knife making.
Kyle, what you been working on, bud?
Finished up a couple of knives that are going out tomorrow. Then I've got another package I got to ship for a proxy, and then working on some more pictures, and then after that, hopefully I will be done for a little bit. By then, I'll probably have something else coming. So,
yep. I got this in today.
Ooh.
Yep.
You like it?
I do. Well, I mean, it's addiction. It's addiction, but when I saw this drop last Friday, I was like, I got to have one of those. So I added another one to the collection, I guess.
Are you going to get rid of the other one then?
No.
Okay.
No. I think this is, I guess Stevie's been keeping count. I sent him a picture of it. And,
it's like your third or fourth, right?
yeah, it's my fourth one.
Fourth what?
Oh, you didn't see it.
Oh, wow.
It's a Dixon. It's Halloween drop.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's cool.
So, one of you guys watched me work on this knife. I know Kyle was there because he was bad mouthing my safety protocols. Right after I got done shaping it, y'all, it was just ready for pins.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. The next time I went to touch it to work on it, you'll see that.
It's magic.
Yeah. Well, the reason this is happening is because it was under 70 degrees in the shop. And it was really close, and it was getting into the 70s during the day. I thought it would be fine. But this is just one of the pains in the ass of dealing with epoxies is that below 70 degrees, it just does not bond. So I'm back to having to do all my epoxy work at home in my kitchen where I know it will stay over 70 degrees. So, I got to.
So it just when it gets below 70, it don't bond to anything, or it's just not bonding in the
will
middle.
stick. It'll stick, but it'll bond about like over school glue.
It won't fully cure.
It'll just pop right off. And I'm using the same epoxy that every knife maker I've talked to uses. And it just popped off. But I am going to try something, Kyle. I've got some hardware. And I've tried this before, but I didn't have the tools that I needed to do it properly. So I am going to re-epoxy these, but I'm also going to use through hardware on them instead of pins.
Oh, nice.
It will be epoxied and bolted. Won't be interchangeable yet. And I know if I heard somebody say that, my first question would be, well, why? That's one of the pluses of bolting the hardware on so that you can change it. I hope to get to that point soon. But until I perfected that process, I'm going to epoxy them and bolt them.
Yeah, just a backup feature, safety feature.
Right. Yeah. So until I get comfortable with bolt-on hardware, I'm going to do both.
What's up, Stovey?
Stevie, check out my brand new bulletproof vest I got, son. Military issue 2X.
What up, Stevie?
Not easy to get hold of. In case you missed it, Stevie, I also have my tactical ass Cheeto Bandito Tucson hanging up there. Buys a pocket clip, no doubt. That's how a man carries a pocket knife.
Yep. Pocket clipped on the outside.
Yep. That mofo.
Dude, what is that?
This is the knife I won from Cheetos giveaway.
That actually would be cool with a fixed blade, though.
Yeah.
Bro, that's gnarly.
It is like
gnarly. It's a chisel.
And I've said this 100 times, and I'll say it again.
Holy shit.
If I'm going to... That's pretty good. That's pretty good. If I'm going to purchase Chinese production knives, I want it to be something out there. You know what I mean? And this is fucking out there. Yeah. I don't want a Kaiser Militar or a Kaiser's version of a bug out, whatever. If I'm going to own a Chinese knife, I want it to be something risky. Something.
You do have one huge, bulky Kaiser, though.
I've got two. I've got.
You got the Sheepdog now too, don't you?
Yeah, I've got the Sheepdog XL, and I've got the Paragon Mini. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the kind of shit, especially from Kaiser, that I enjoy. I don't want their run-of-the-mill drop point, smooth action, lightweight folder, and who knows what the steel really is. But
I've always liked Sheepdog.
I like a cleaver.
The Sheepdog literally propelled Kaiser into relevancy. They start out just like all the rest of them, man. They were just copying people's designs. People forget those days, but when I got into knives, probably the most egregious theft of intellectual property company out there is now just, it's like people don't even remember it, but nearly every clone knife you looked at on the internet was made by Kubi, and everybody's just forgot about it. I know because I owned a couple of them.
You go back far enough.
They were copies until after I had them.
Yeah, you go back far enough. All those companies, Kaiser, Stedman. Stedman was one of them. There was another one that had an odd name too. That was like that. That's how they started, and that's all. I've only got one Kaiser knife left, and it was an oldie, and it's been in pieces for probably 2 years. It was a gift, but I was modding it and just never got back around to working on it. But remember the Roach, the
Yeah.
full size Roach?
Yeah.
Got that one, and then was screwing around with doing a full flat on it.
Yeah.
Regrind on it, and then just never got.
Kyle, I laid my Roach back. I don't even think we knew each other at the time. I've talked about it a bunch on my channel back then, but I laid my Roach back to 11 degrees. And the only reason I was comfortable doing it is because I knew how tough N690 was. N690 is a great choice for a tactical, hard-use fixed blade. It just is. People badmouth it. It wasn't made for edge retention. It's a tough steel. It's right. It's not as tough as 14C. So at this point, it's kind of pointless. But anyway, I laid it back to 11 degrees, and every time I touched that knife, I fucking bled. Like it was just. I don't know. That's the sharpest thing I've ever experienced. But
look how thin that is behind the tip. If you can see that.
Yeah. And I don't know about yours, but my Roach had excellent action.
I mean, it got pretty thin.
Yeah.
That thing reminds me of the Fret a little bit.
Eh.
Kind of. I mean, it's a leaf-shaped blade. Yeah, I've never thought about that, but the handle shape even. Well.
No.
I mean.
Let me see if I can find the handle anymore. It's over here somewhere.
But I don't mind at all.
Here we go. There's the handle for it.
Yeah, see the little hump in the back of the spine.
A little bit.
It does. Yeah, it does have a. Yeah. And say that goes to show, man. A lot of times you stand there to design a knife, just like when Ryan did it. Ryan set out to design something original, and when he got done, he had drawn a picture of what he already loved. Yeah, he designed a sedanza. So anytime you're designing a knife, there's something about it that whether you realize it or not, is stuck in your head.
Yeah.
That you enjoyed on a different knife. I would have never remembered that had you not shown that. I would have never remembered the Roach existed. What's up, Todd?
Well, it's sitting over there. I got another. Dude, I got project knives that have been sitting in cases. I've got a Pena that's been in parts for well over a year. Just sitting there.
You never even sharpened the Paragon, did you?
No.
Can I send it back to you? Let you sharpen it?
If you want, but I want to get back to you because you.
I know, but
said you wanted it back.
It's not very sharp.
Well, I just felt bad for hanging on to it. So.
No, dude, I wouldn't have cared if you kept it. You're more than welcome to keep it if you wanted to. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like this thing right here. You're never going to find anything that looks like that. Right. This guy did a good job of making something that didn't look like anything anybody ever made. I fall in love with this knife more every day.
I know a lot of people hate the blade.
I think I may have offended Bugsy a little bit when I was talking about how horrible the action is. And what I meant by that was, by today's standards, like how people judge action, they would not be happy with this. But because it's a friction folder and because it is what it is, I love everything about it. I love that knife.
I like weird blade shapes, and I know a lot of people hate this one, but I love that blade shape.
Right. I like this because it gives you almost like a pistol grip. So if you're holding it back here, you've got your thumb on that tang to keep the blade from closing. It's a perfect get to poking kind of thing.
You'd be proud of me though. I sold one of my knives finally.
Did you really?
I decided to sell something.
What'd you sell, Kyle?
My Mordax.
Man, I love the Mordax, and it bores the fuck out of me. I've owned it twice. Like every time I see it, I think I want another one. Then I remember that when I own it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Like, but it just I lose interest in it almost instantly. I can't explain it.
It's a great knife, and I got kind of an odd version of it that's not easy to find. It's that
That's not, as much sentimental value as this thing has. You know, my Jason Brown Deca. I'm the same way with it. You know, I never carried it. It just bores me.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
That it bores him, or that you like the knife?
The knife.
Well, I was gonna sell the Mordex a while ago, and I decided no, I was gonna hang on to it because I just like it. But there was someone who really wanted it, and we made a deal, and I'm glad he's gonna get it because he likes it. So, what's up, old
What's
man?
up, guys?
John, you got your bulletproof vest on?
Do I need it?
I mean, I wore mine.
You're about to catch some strays if you don't.
I've been catching strays for years.
Yeah, already.
I don't have any plate carriers.
I have a plate carrier. I don't have a
But
plate.
I'm
This is
real-
an actual military issue vest.
John, you're such a small target.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm a moving target. Good luck.
Well, they also don't
Your
have.
red dot's gonna be
People like me and
dancing.
Shane, we got to hide behind walls and
Paul
tanks.
Mills, what's up, brother? What's up, Cliff? What's up, Marco?
The
And
Army,
everybody?
Army's not allowed to recruit till they're 18, so most of their sizes are too big for John.
Right.
Yep.
I just couldn't believe. I knew they made big stuff, but the odds of me finding a 2X unissued were pretty low.
It's funny. I just saw a thumbnail of a guy who I see shooting videos, but he had a 45-pound plate like you lift weights with,
Mm-hmm.
and he was going to try to put different rounds through it. I don't know what distance he was shooting it with, but I didn't click on it. I just got finished filming this knife.
I'm sure Kyle's watched it because we watched a lot of the same channels. There's been a bunch of people that have ordered the AliExpress or what's that? Temu.
Yeah.
So you buy a plate carrier and they just sell these metal plates that are they're not approved for any caliber. They're just weight plates for these guys that run with a plate carrier on, you know, like CrossFit type people.
Right.
And them some bitches, everyone I've seen them test have passed the 3A requirements.
What's his name?
Is that good, Shane? You mean they passed or they broke?
No, they passed. Demo did it. And
Yeah, they were bulletproof.
the one he got from like Temu was actually better than some of the reputable USA ones. But
And
here's
of course,
the thing.
they're all telling you, hey, do not trust your life to this.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But everyone I've seen tested has stopped, you know, up to what it was, you know, a 3A plate would stop.
Amazon's got
The
vest
exception to that-
plates that are like 119. What's that say? Curved vest plates.
Shane, the exception to that was when
Running and for workouts.
Flannel Daddy Harambe did the Russian ballistic helmet. You remember that?
I don't think I saw it.
He shot that thing and it went to about 1,000 pieces, looked like a Lego exploding.
I remember
Oh
that.
my God.
Yeah, dude, Russia has always been famous for, I hate to say this, but they make a lot of garbage military equipment just to make their soldiers feel better. They don't find out that it don't work until they get in the field.
Well, it's also because they have the sheer
Nobody
volume,
has ever-
volume of numbers of people that they're disposable. They just shove them
Right.
out there. Just keep going.
Right. But they know they're less likely to chicken out if they think they have on body armor when they really don't.
Right.
I guess those helmets are supposed to dent. It's not like a one-use thing, right? Where that would displace the energy, and
Well,
that might.
If you get hit in a ballistic helmet in the U.S. military, if it gets grazed, you're supposed to replace it.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were one and done kind of thing, because I would think they dispense the energy across the surface area. So if he had a melon behind it, it would be interesting. because again, I would want it to withstand more than one shot. But I wonder if that projectile was stopped, if the power and the impact of it was stopped when it hit that helmet.
Well, it depends if it's a direct hit or if it's a graze or what it is.
There's a lot of variables.
Like
To make a
Team Wendy,
helmet
That's why I like to just keep it like that.
to make a helmet that truly, is going to protect you, it's going to be so thick and cumbersome and heavy that nobody's going to be willing to wear it. I mean, guys in Vietnam, a lot of them had shrapnel on their chest because they were walking around with their flak jackets unzipped because they were just fucking hot.
right?
You worry about that type thing until you've been there for 8 months. You've never been hit,
Take it for granted.
but you're miserable every day. Eventually, you're just like, man, let me open this thing up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to walk around with a tungsten helmet on, then yeah, you could be safe. But the issue is, I mean, like there are good ones, like was it Core Ops and Team Wendy and all those helmets are good, but I don't know that I'd want to have it tested with one, yet alone multiples.
Todd Carr, you're 100% right, man. I still think the Rock P801B was the greatest budget knife ever produced. It's still relevant to this day. It has gone up a little, but it cost what it should cost for what it is, and it fucking works.
What is it?
The Rock P801B. A lot of people even claimed that it was they called it a poor man's Sabenza. I don't think they were copying the Sabenza. I don't see it. That it don't look like a clone of a Sabenza to me. But look it up on your phone right quick. The Rock P801B. It had a stainless steel frame lock.
Really nice little knife.
14C blade. I've only known of one to be HRC tested. What it tested at? Kind of like 64?
I was going to say 63, but yeah.
63, 64? Yeah, man.
It was crazy.
And they were $28 when I got into the knife. Sometimes you catch them on Amazon for $23.
You know what that sounded like, though? Honestly, it sounded like they just forgot to temper.
Well,
what's the name of it? Right, PA. What?
RUIKE.
P.
Oh, right. Okay.
P is in Paul, 801B. The B, I think, just stands for the fact that the thumb studs are blue. I think. Excellent knife, though, man.
That is 100% about right.
Yeah. Ryan's about to buy 10 of them. Hey, man, if I had a few non-bougie employees that I needed to get Christmas present for, I'd buy them. I've referred multiple people in the past 2 years to the Right P801B because of the price. I feel like that's where it should be. And there's nothing, there's no budget knife out there that's better than it. There might be some with better action or that weigh a little less. But nothing has ever cut close to what those knives have cut and tested.
I don't know what this one was. The P875.
Oh, they've got a bunch of them. And Rock is it's the knife line of Phoenix flashlights. Rock knives and Phoenix flashlights are the same company.
This was sent to me in a package with a bunch of giveaway stuff that I was going to put into another giveaway and just haven't done it yet.
We're going to give away tonight, by the way.
We do?
Yeah, I'm going to give a little something away. It's not much, but.
Hey, question, Shane.
Yeah.
Is there still a prick down there that is a little bit bigger than the prick I've got?
Yeah, Maddie's prick's right here.
Yeah, when you send me that stuff, I've got to send that to Maddie because he rags me at every live stream that I'm on that I don't ship my shit because I've gotten so proud about shipping my shit.
Yeah.
I love my prick.
It's actually laying right here. And in all honesty, that worked out better because this is going to fit Maddie a lot better than that would have.
Well, first of all, Maddie's the first person to not be able to bitch about shipping stuff.
Right.
Yeah, this is the right that I was sent. Look how ornate that one is.
I like that.
I bet the action's good on it too.
That doesn't interest me just because for a Chinese budget knife company, I just want a $30 knife.
It's got a lock on it. On the frame lock, it's got an actual external lock on the frame lock.
And if you guys want to know the most used knife in my entire lifetime, the knife I've used more than any knife I've ever owned is this piece of shit. It's probably 3CR. I don't know. It's like a $10 Kershaw made in China. A guy gave me this for fixing his truck. It literally took me 30 seconds to fix it. And he gave me this knife. And when I went to work at the farm, I was cutting open bags of feed, fertilizer, concrete, whatever. Literally, I'd use this knife 30 times a day. And I'm not going to say that it performed great. It did dull fast. But this was the knife that taught me to carry a knife. The one that got me in the habit of every day when I put my pants on, where's my knife? Because I had to have it every day.
You were cutting stuff.
Right, because there was nobody else there. Like, people don't understand, when I pulled up that barn, there was nobody around. And the sun was just coming up. I'd get out. I'd cut open 200 or 300 bags of seed, dump them in my drill, and head out. And I wouldn't see a human being all day. It was just me and the cows. And that knife, like I said, I'm not bragging about the job that it did. You can see the pocket clip broke off. But this is what trained me and showed me why a man needs to carry a knife every day. So it'll always have a special place in my heart.
I used to, and I owe it to Ryan to give Kershaw a look again. But when I reviewed that Iridium, and now that I'm at that shop a couple days a week, they carry Kershaw, and they've got some $45 FRN button lock, clip point. I don't know what the blade steel is. 8 CRV, Chinese knives that
I don't even think
perform
this one's
nicely.
I don't even think this one's 8CR. This is also the knife that made me wonder. Man,
They're a good entry level knife, I think.
There's something out there that I don't, because my time was very limited. I could work 10 or 12 hours a day, but it was an hour drive there, hour drive home. All I did was work and slept. But every night when I got home, I had to sharpen this fucking knife, and that made me question, there's got to be something better. And that's when I started, I think the first thing I replaced this with was a
Hey, baby.
Gonzo in D2, and it outcut this by miles. But that started my quest and my curiosity, which led to my passion for steel, because this one was so poor. But did it pay for itself at $10? You're damn right it did. I've done thousands of dollars worth of work with that $10 knife. What'd you think about that, Ryan?
I didn't see a Suspenza, but it's a good looking knife though.
Yeah, it's
I maybe on the clip side there, it might kind of favor one a little bit with a close.
And it's a stainless steel frame lock, which is going to be tougher and stronger. But it's got a little bit of. It don't weigh any more than this though. This thing's heavy for what it is. Wait till the
Manix 3
comes out. Yeah, if that ever happens, it's funny that you brought that up, Cheeto, because that was a funny joke. But at the same time, we've all also pondered, well, if you're going to make the Manix 3, what are you going to change? Is it going to be an in-between size? Is it going to be like a mini native size, or is it going to be a different lock?
push through compression lock like they do on Sage 6.
Yep.
I think changing it from the ball lock to the compression lock is the worst fucking idea I've ever heard, because that ball lock is perfection. But it's perfection once you upgrade it.
once you lighten the spring, it's a little stiff out of the box.
Once you lighten the spring, it's perfection. But
speaking of,
I've always wondered why they didn't do a Sage 5 or a Sage series with a ball lock, because that would be between, that would be a smaller Manix. I think that would have sold really well. But
that's a good point.
I just ordered the OCD just got in a bunch of titanium ball kits.
Yeah.
I just ordered one the other day.
Nice.
So
that's, I think, the best upgrade operationally on any Spyderco that you can do that makes a difference in how it feels. Now, I'm not trying to compression mate easy.
It doesn't affect lock strength at all. A lot of people.
No, but it affects the feel and the action, in my opinion.
What? Bugsy, you're absolutely insane, brother.
Who said that, Cliff?
No, that's Bugsy.
Oh, what did Bugsy say? Oh yeah,
The
I love it. Maybe
ball is great.
I'm surely Bugsy, you've experienced one with the upgrade, but yeah, man, I mean, I've carried, and still to this day, I've got a Rex 121 Stage 5 that I haven't carried at all because I hate the scales, but John's about to fix that for me. But that Rex 45 Manix is my most carried knife, and before that, the 15V Manix. Before that, the 20CV. That's my favorite knife of all time.
I still stand behind this. I said this a while back. The Rex 45 is the sharpest steel that they make. You can get as far as how you can get it, how sharp you can get it. That steel becomes unbelievably razor sharp, more than their crew wear, more than anything else.
The first time I experienced it was on what was that guy's name? He just had JN. JN loaned me his Rex 45 Native Chief.
Juggling Ninja?
Yeah, that was the first knife that I ever opened and touched my thumbprint to the edge and immediately looked to see if I like it. It scared me. It was that sharp.
Yeah, I've got 2 Manix 2s, and I absolutely adore the Rex 45, but it doesn't get used because of the stupid scales, and now I'm going to fix that. So
I think the Manix is kind of like the 350 Chevrolet. You know, it's been around a long time. We thought it was the greatest thing ever. There's lots of new stuff that's come out since, but I don't think you can take away from, you know, what it was. You know, there's new stuff, prettier stuff, all that, but it's a timeless legend in my opinion.
Without a doubt.
Hey Kyle.
Yeah.
What do you know about DC 53 blade steel?
It was a Chinese proprietary or Chinese relatively only used by the Chinese manufacturers.
I got it.
That was.
I'm going to brag on this knife for 1 second. I don't know. I did a video today. I did the video a few days ago, but I've been beating on this knife. This company reached out to me and wanted me to try this knife. It's an Amazon knife under $90. And at first I didn't get back with them because it was bigger than I usually carry. But this choil, I finally gave in. And I don't know if you can see that compound tip. And this isn't a DLC coated one. They do a DLC coated one. This is just it's got some kind of finish on it. But I've beaten this knife up, chopped on that 200-year-old little wedge that I picked up when that tree got struck by lightning and they had to take it down. It's got a pommel that's 440, full tang of that DC 53, which I wasn't familiar with. What I was trying to do is get the edge to roll. But if you look at the spine right here, it's got this little inch area that's super sharp. I don't know if you can see that. It's not showing up, is it?
I can see it, but already
there's a little area here that's super sharp for the ferro rod. Comes with the ferro rod, which I'm not a big player on, but G10 handle under $90. I think it's $89, $79 or $89. It's a great knife. I would have no problem using this as one camping knife. If it was my only camping knife that I could have.
So DC 53 was Chinese production, came out with it a while back. It was kind of similar to
K110.
Yeah, it was like a D2, but not quite as good. And
I really wish the Chinese.
It was done to be a budget steel. Like Migron used it for quite a while. There were some other companies.
You understand why it exists, though, right? It's because China ruined D2's reputation, and they knew it, and nobody was buying it anymore. So they just changed the name of it.
I'd never heard of DC 53.
Could they have sprinkled, four granules more vanadium or chromium? Sure, they could have, but yeah, I wish they had named their own D2 something else a long time ago, so the D2 wouldn't have the reputation that it has now.
I want you to beat on it. I'm going to send it to you, Shane. I want you to see how the steel performs like hitting a 2x4 or something that you can, since you've heat treated stuff and you can compare it to stuff you've whacked with. I'm curious.
That's why they call. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, to me, it performed very well because I really thought it was going to roll the edge. After I beat on that log. I filmed only probably 10, 15 seconds of it, but I was whacking on that log trying to come in thinking that the paper wouldn't cut, and the paper still cut, which I know that's not a test, but I felt the edge and inspected the edge. I expected it to deform some to where it would drag through paper, and I was surprised that it didn't. So on this knife, I'm kind of impressed by it. It's a big, thick piece of steel, so that could have something to do with it.
Yeah, they never ran DC-53 hard, so I mean, it was softer, so it's probably going to be able to take a beating like that and not roll. It was the reason why they started naming it DC-53 and why they started using K110 was to get away from the moniker of D2 from the Chinese companies. It wasn't that they were producing a better or new steel. It was that they wanted to get away from it saying D2 because people would quit buying it.
It was more marketing than it was.
Yeah, it's the same as like the misleading of the AARPM9 steel. To me, it was never a good steel to begin with, but then the whole thing coming out and saying it was powder metallurgy when they knew
powder
it was,
sprayed on a core.
when they knew it wasn't. It just, I don't know. I don't trust when it comes to metallurgy from there.
And I can understand that. And I'm one of those people, again, I guess I play too much devil's advocate. I could see how whoever sold that to Artisan, that Artisan not knowing enough, shame on them, about true powder metallurgy, could have lost some of the way that they sold it in the translation, because it does use a powder metallurgic steel that's sprayed on a core, right? And I forget how much buildup it is, but it's a unique process. It's proven not to be any stronger, like you said. I just don't know if they did it.
It's not a controversial process, John. It's
Todd, yes.
all powder metallurgy steels. If I've been in a plant, there's a plant in Leesburg called Chivet that does powder metallurgy. They don't do it for knives, but all they do is they take each of the ingredients and they melt it, and until it's molten, and then it is pressurized and sprayed through a nozzle into a chamber with, I forget what gas it is, that instantly cools it. It comes out so hot and so fine that when it's cooled, it turns to a dust. They collect all that dust, and then they take each element, all those different dusts, and they measure them out to the gram and mix them together and remelt them. That's all powder metallurgy steel is. Each one is heated, sprayed through a tiny nozzle into a vacuum chamber where it instantly cools and turns to tiny granules. And
which is scientifically superior because you're getting smaller.
What I understand about ARPM9 is kind of like the MEM process. They're actually taking the steels the elements are all already combined. They're just melting that and then doing the same process of spraying them. I don't know how to explain.
So the
ingot, that's the word I was looking for, Jeffrey Dawson.
Yeah, that's the bar, or that's your core hard steel. So the thing about that, John, is I get where you're coming from, but they also came out and said that was proprietary steel to them, and they were having it, or that either they were having it made or they were making it.
Oh, I remember the hype. I bought into it.
They 100% need, regardless of who is making it or what was sold to them, that's on them. They have to own that.
They should have researched it. I wonder if they were sold and that was enough for them, the way that they were sold, that they just took it and then ran with it, took it to market.
Go back to our other conversations. They don't give a shit. It's a marketing tool. They don't care what the steel really is. It's a marketing
company.
Well, you'd think that they'd want performance, though, because you want your customers. Do they? I mean, I would think they'd want repeat customers.
None of them perform.
Yeah, Bowler is a company, right? Bowler Steel. Cliff Bright asked the question, what is Bowler Steel?
Correct.
But that's not just a Chinese thing. Fucking that mobster Anthony Marchione decided to tell everybody that Microtech uses M390MK, which is different and better.
Right.
Bullshit. And even if it was different and better, you're still running it at an HRC that nobody's ever going to notice the difference.
Right.
They'll be bad talking.
Does an Alphatron auto need to have true performance edge retention? Maybe not. So maybe it doesn't matter.
What was it that he changed? I know that there was a change that
No,
they
they
wanted.
could literally, when they go to mix that still, they could literally pick up. Let's say that the recipe calls for, in this particular size batch, calls for 14 grams of chromium. They could put 14 grams of chromium in there and drop two more granules in it and change the name if they want to. You can.
But didn't he have it? And I haven't been to the website.
Well, Tony's not a metallurgist by any means, and he doesn't give a shit when it comes to that.
No, I would have thought he would have come to them with, I want the steel to be more of this property or exhibit more of this characteristic. How can we do that? That's how I would have thought something like that would happen.
It's tougher because it's M390 at 58.59. Of course, it's going to be tougher than M390 at 62.63.
I think that's all Microtech's made out of now, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you can get a Microtech with
I
a
saw
different.
something recently that they were promoting that didn't say M390 NK. It was just M390, but I could be wrong.
So,
and I haven't looked at their kitchen series.
Here's one thing that'll prove that. So, you know that.
Austria is not the land down under, buddy.
You know how the Heretic came about, right?
I know. Are you talking about the company?
Correct.
I know it's his son's company. I don't know how it was started or why.
Okay. Well, there's a huge falling out between the two of them, obviously, and there's been almost fistfights at Blade between the two of them and all kinds of stuff. Neither company has ever cared about Blade Steel or HRC. I would never, ever, ever own a Heretic solely for the fact of the way that they've run their MagnaCut in the past.
They're more of a carrier. They're all going about the action, the mechanism. Is that where
it's a showpiece? But even at that, it is a complete atrocity. Like, you have to try hard to screw something up that bad. Like, I hadn't heard of anyone from anywhere running it that low overseas.
That hurts my feelings because I've always liked the single action. That's one knife that kind of I was interested not to buy, but
you can like it, John. We just talked about that. Does an Alta Front Auto need to have
edge retention?
High performance edge retention.
No, that's what I was going to ask Kyle. Is first I want to find out how low they're running it.
But for you, does it need to have that?
Well, no, I would think the intent of that knife is for people who want to ram it into plywood and stuff like that. You know, to use that single action to play with it.
Every one of us that own an OTF have spent more time clicky than we ever will.
But Heretic also makes big bruiser knives too. That's the point. So
those are ugly though. God,
John, to answer your question, you would get probably the same heat treat if you took it through a plain piece of bar stock in your microwave for about 15 seconds, took it out, and said it's done.
I don't know.
And then again,
all that, go.
Shane, I will tell you the numbers. I'm not going to claim on here. I'll tell you the numbers off stream where I know someone who had.
Yeah, you got me wanting to know.
They had 3 knives tested, and they were lower than your age by far.
Really?
In MagnaCut. Yes.
Really?
that was a great way to slip a number out there without slipping a number out there, Kyle. Kudos to you, brother.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, most people don't care.
Probably halfway between me and you, Shane.
Yeah. The only thing from Heretic I've ever seen that I truly loved, and I would never buy it because it's too expensive. I'd lose it. I don't need it. But that tactical ink pen they make is fucking stellar. And if I never asked, but if he had told me that it would take a Pilot G2 insert, I'd have probably wasted $280.
Heretic tactical. What'd you call it?
It's just their tactical ink pen. It's modular, so you can change stuff on it. But I handled one at Smoky Mountain Knife Works during Fall Fest a couple years ago, and
Boo! Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Boo!
Ryan, Cliff wants you to talk, buddy.
What's up?
Here's one for 113 bucks, but these were 163. This must be a different pin.
Yeah, so this
This is
were
the
not like
thaw.
that.
The thaw.
Ron, do you have anything in your possession you've received recently? I know you've purchased some stuff.
Me?
Yeah, but I
Not yet.
haven't. I've gotten kind of.
I've got like 2 packages coming tomorrow.
Have you checked the shipping on yours, Ron, from us? I haven't checked it. I got it right here. I got a picture
It
of
should
it.
be in tomorrow though.
Let me check. I got a picture of it. Let me check while y'all talk.
I know this is going to piss off Cliff and Paul Mills, maybe, but I need to at least say this. I did receive, in the last week and a half, I've received 2 packages from Kodiak that were giveaway wins for Todd Carr. So he did ship me 2 items 2 separate times that have arrived for Todd.
Did he ship you the knife blade that he involved me in the lie about?
No. And these are 2
I don't have a dog in that fight. But
well, I don't know that because I didn't open the packages up. I just know they were addressed to Todd.
Well, I was kidding. I know he didn't. The fact that he lied on my name.
Ron.
That guy.
It's in trustful preparing for delivery.
Yeah. I figured it was going to be here today.
I wish Spyderco would do an upgraded domino.
No, Todd, Cliff, sorry. I wasn't saying that you should care. What I was saying was I know that it affected you guys being in
What's up, Lakeside?
So, that being said, at least he.
At least he's giving somebody what they.
Right.
Yeah.
And Todd, so that completes things. So that'll get me to the point where I'm going to try to find a box large enough and figure out shipping tomorrow. So, and Dawson, correct. I love the Stab Nano. I think the thing is cool as all get out, but I would never.
Guys, I've been waiting on that one, John.
You remember
Dude,
this, Ryan?
This is absolutely stunning.
Remember this? We got to handle it at Blade Show.
Yeah.
They're about to drop in a week or so. And I want to tell you why I like that knife.
I told John if he sent it to me, he wouldn't get it back.
Yeah. The reason why, and some people are going to critique that knife, and say, well, it doesn't fire like a Protec. And that's the very reason why I like it. It fires plenty hard enough to deploy, but I never felt like it was going to fly out of my hand. It was
Protec.
It's a controlled instant open.
Right.
And the blade geometry.
And it's all made by one guy in North Carolina.
That's it. And do y'all remember what the price was? I'm going to ask Michael, but I think they were pretty dang reasonable.
I heard from him today. He's sending me one, but I don't know about the price.
I think they're sub 3, are they not?
I think they are. This knife right here is sub 280.
That thing is beautiful, man.
Dude, I'm not a G10 fan. I love
I
this
wanted to get in
G10.
on some of the color ones, but
It looks like my Carta. Can you see the layers at the end cut?
I had talked to Michael about doing runs of scales, like TRM does, and he agreed it's a great idea, but he just doesn't have time.
It wouldn't be a profit center for him.
There's one pair of feet that walk in that shop every day, and they're his. As far as to work, his wife does a lot of the the paperwork, the shipping, all that stuff.
That's what I said in the video. It's a family business that you're supporting. With family being a man, and the son will one day work there, I would think, but he may not.
What's up, Brad?
I knew Michael for
What's up,
3
Brad?
years before I found out he only had one leg.
I didn't know that until you just said it.
I didn't know it until Blade
What
Show.
I think.
Me and Ryan ran into him at Blade Show out in the hallway, and I noticed his prostate leg. I had no idea that the man had a prostate leg.
What I think's cool, and I didn't notice it because his website, when you look at it, it's not the fanciest website. You can get all the information you want there. The phone number's there. He's the kind of guy that you could talk to on the phone if you had a question anyway. But Model 1, version 7. And if you look at the website, it's like constantly striving to improve. So he'll tell you he wants this knife to get better and better and better, and that's to me says a lot. Instead of just changing.
Does the blade shape not change a little bit?
Well, maybe
I-
to accommodate the thumb stud. I'm thinking it may have gotten a little higher here for that thumb
Yeah,
stud
there's a
because the
little-
thumb
there's a little
stud's at the
peak
very
there.
top of it.
Yeah,
But dude, you can reverse flick it.
because that's a better looking blade than the model one I had. I think.
I mean, he constantly is refining it. And again, it's somebody I don't think's charging enough for their knives.
I like the Warney better than I do the drop point, which is kind of surprising because I love drop points. But
I did too until that one.
well, I'm okay with flipper only. I don't necessarily need it with
Yeah.
studs.
No, I'm not talking. You know, I don't care about the thumb studs. I'm just talking about that slight change in the blade shape.
Right.
I'm amazed at how slicey it is because it does not look like it would be as slicey as a TRM.
Slicey.
They're really slicey.
I know it's thinner, like
It's
but-
thinner behind the edge. It's a slightly thicker stock, but if you look at that plunge grind and you look how defined it is on the ABW, like you can catch it with your fingernail really easily.
oh yeah,
And then you look at a TRM, the plunge grind is kind of muted. It's very shallow. It's because they're removing less steel. So while TRM starts with a thinner blade,
Michael's milling that down more.
thicker stock, but he mills it down thinner.
Yeah, you can see the difference in that plunge and the. Oh yeah,
When Ryan Kim mic'd
Plunge
mine,
on
it was 6,000s behind the edge. And
so what would that look like? That .0006?
Yeah, that means that it had to be almost 0 ground and then a bevel put on it. Because like when you guys see me in the shop and I'm bragging that I got it down to 6 or 8, it's not going to be 6 or 8 behind the edge when you get it. By the time Kyle puts an edge on it, it might be 10 or 11, which is still great. I'm happy with that. And depending on the geometry and the thickness of the steel, it might be a little more than that. But I'm only shooting for those really low numbers so that when Kyle's done, it's not a really high number.
And when
So
10 or 12 is still going to be lower than what your average.
Yeah, that's half the thickness of a spider coat behind.
I was going to say that's you're not going to hardly find any production knives that low. So
Right. Except an ABW.
right.
So
So
Hang on one
if I didn't have responsibilities in the state of Alabama, I would have already moved to North Carolina and spent at least a year working under/with Michael.
Shane, read that.
is that where I measure to get my behind the edge thickness?
the very
top of that bevel?
Yes.
I have a hard time. I don't think I'm getting accurate measurements each time.
You see that, Shane?
I see the comment on the screen.
Yeah, but then read that one.
Oh, yes, absolutely, Nick.
I just told him that you're not making those right now. You're doing other stuff, but you'll make one in the future.
Because of this injury and already had health issues that don't allow me to work full time. I'm a little behind, but I would absolutely.
There we go.
I'd be
And-
honored to make you one soon.
Make no deposits needed. Just
Yeah, I don't want
once we get to the point where he can make them, he'll let you know, or I'll
I
let you know.
typically don't like for people to pay until I ship it to Kyle. That way I know it's about to have an edge put on it. You're going to have it within a few days. Every time I let somebody pay ahead of time, like I don't know if Jacob's in here, but Jacob wanted to pay for his clip point, and I let him do it. And then within a few days, I'm bedridden with his ankle. He's not going to be mad, but
it puts
It's
more
just-
on you. You don't need the aggravation
every
either.
time I let somebody pay before I'm 100% ready to put it in the mail, yes, there's Jacob right there. Something happens, and it causes me a lot of stress, and I feel horrible that I have somebody's money and I didn't get their product to them as fast as I'd like to.
What's up, Jacob? What's up, Ron?
Click on that I'm sharing, Shane, and tell me if it doesn't look like a cartoon to you.
That is a
It's a heretic. It's a bladed. Yeah, that.
That's not for me, but I get it. It helps with all my eyes, whatever. And
Does it not look like a cartoon? The blade part of it, though.
It looks like it
illustrating.
came straight from Borderlands 4. That's the
You
same.
can take it away. I was just curious about it.
Yeah, it's that self rating.
I think think it's cool if it's your thing, but you know,
I wasn't hating on it. I don't remember seeing a heritage that's not.
I'm not hating on it either.
You use a mic meter instead of
think
a
it's,
caliper.
Because guys, you got to remember, every time a knife maker does something that's so far out there and we think it's unnecessary or overboard or whatever,
micrometer.
Those are the things that lead to greatness in the future. You know, it's no different than all the technology that they dump into Formula One racing. I mean, you look at cars right now, man. You can buy a 4-cylinder with 280 horsepower. All that came from the over-the-top shit in racing. So, you know, anytime somebody does something like that, I don't hate on it, because who knows what it's going to lead to next year or 5 years from now.
I hear you. Todd, does it look like a C-clamp, the micrometer? Because when I look on Amazon, I see a lot of things that look like calipers, and then I see something that looks kind of like a bench clamp, but it's a measuring device. Is that the micrometer that's easier to get the behind the edge thickness on?
Yeah, it looked like a C-clamp. It's just 2 little prongs that are...
Yeah, professional digital outside micrometer with carbide tip.
Yeah, that's not what we used to use to measure the thickness of brake rotors when I was a mechanic.
Here's one for $39.
Yeah. But the issue with that is, you know, you're going to have some magnification to be able to see that, you know, you are exactly
on the bevel,
on where the sharpening bevel stops and the primary bevel stops. You go right on that apex.
I try to get, and I do it with my
half of a hair, and you're talking about thousands. So
yeah, and I always say, full disclosure, my measurement's probably wrong. But you heard it cut. I listened to the.
But this it really, I mean, you can't be. There's no point in being that picky about it. If you're measuring it and it's close to the number you're looking for, all that matters is that it's either it's thin enough or it's thick enough, whatever your goal is.
And I can listen to the sound it makes going through paper, and you can get an idea, I can at least, of what I like.
So Javon, on your drawing you had there. Well, here, I'll just draw one myself. Make it.
My drawing's terrible.
So is mine, but I was just going to show you how the effect of putting an edge on it makes a difference. Let me grab something.
Yeah, Paul Mills' first knife he bought from me, I measured at I don't remember the exact number. It was about 11 or 12 thousandths. And then I acid washed it and tumbled it and sent it to Kyle. And by the time Kyle put an edge on it, it was at almost, it was in the 30s, wasn't it, Kyle?
Yeah.
And I didn't let Kyle send him the knife. I remade it because it wasn't what he wanted.
I put an edge on this last night, and I'm still getting my little micro scratches. I didn't get as many of them, but I think it's because I'm not wiping it enough. What?
It's because you're hard-headed and you won't listen.
About taping it? Dude, I can't get the tape to, I got it so sharp.
It's not.
Look, you don't have to do it. Open the knife, tear off a piece of tape 4 inches long, lay it right on the edge. Like, lay it on the edge.
Oh, fold it over. You're talking about the blue tape.
Over, and the first 3 or 4 passes you make is going to be the diamond cutting through the tape. But then you're going to know the tape's right where it needs to be.
This is the pot calling the kettle black. Neither one of you listen to me. It's not the tape that's causing it.
Oh, I know.
It's the stone.
Right. I'm well aware.
I'm lifting the stone. See, I'm making extra.
But the difference
is extra care to keep the stone against the blade. Parallel. I mean, I'm putting even a little pressure on it.
There should be no way that your slurry is that abrasive that is leaving that kind of scratches. I just did one not long ago. Well, here, put this way.
Call it. It happens to me every time I sharpen too.
That black coating right there, right?
That would be gray, at least.
There's not a scratch on that.
Did you tape it?
No.
I don't get it.
Me neither, because I mean, they're like a 16th inch, little tiny. Can you see them there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see them.
But dude, the edge is so clean and so sharp.
Thanks, knife nut.
That's why I don't sharpen knives that I sell you guys. That's why I send them to Kyle. Because if I did it, it would have slurry scratches. Ryan, speaking of which, dude, don't forget. I still got your. I don't know why you want them or if you still want them, but I still got those white Mannix 2 scales.
Yeah.
If you want it.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
I was supposed to give you in June.
So, yeah, I think I was supposed to get them at Blade Show, wasn't I? You're gonna bring them to me at Blade Show.
Here is this one here. You see how the very tip of that is a square?
Yeah.
Because
it's not fully apex.
Well, that would be if it doesn't have a bevel at all. So that's coming off the grinder, and that's maybe 10 to 15 thou. Well, when you put a bevel on it, then it becomes like what you're used to, and that's your apex at that point, right? So that's going to actually increase that angle from 8 to 10 thou, roughly, to probably 12 to 15. So anytime you're raising that bevel, and that also depends on what your angle is set at too. So that'll drastically change. So making a knife thinner to start with is much more beneficial. Like if you start off and you have something that's thick behind the edge, by putting a lower angle on it, yes, you'll get the bevel bigger. It may be a little bit slicier, but it's fully not going to actually cut until you get reground. That's the only way to get material moved from behind the edge.
Malcolm, I wish I could figure it out. I mean, I know it's. I'm
Malcolm, every knife I own that I've ever sharpened on my own, especially if it's a black blade, I've got this grayish looking haze right behind the edge, and if you zoom in on it, look at it close, it's just little curly cues. I don't know how I'm doing it either, but I give up and quit trying.
I'm not going to give up. I'm going to get it licked because I get too much enjoyment from sharpening knives.
Well, my biggest issue is I don't give a shit about it. I don't think it doesn't matter to me. All I want is for it to be sharp and for it to work. But I'm not making all these knives for me. So
that vest getting hot.
It's a little warm in here.
John, I love you to death, but at least like this and
I know
that and that from other fellow sharpeners are getting it.
So I mean, you're convinced that I'm getting lift in my stone,
correct?
Or am I not wiping it enough in between?
You're getting a lift because when I've done it in the past, so there's okay. Here, let's just for shits and giggles, we find something that doesn't matter.
Because
here, this knife here. If I put in, let me find a stone. All right.
Making big, Shane.
If I put in,
there's a little arrow. If you hover up to the right corner of the screen, it'll turn to a little arrow on Kyle's screen.
Huh?
If you want to make him big, there's a different way you do it. You just drag your mouse to the window.
I don't have a mouse.
Here, I'll do it.
It's a touch screen. Yeah, Kyle can do it.
All right. So, John, if I'm going like this, okay, I'm going directly across. If I'm pushing too hard, and my stone comes up, it can go up on top of the blade, which is leaving the little curlicues right in that.
That's probably what I'm doing wrong.
That first quarter of an inch prior to going up into that.
Say that again, because that's exactly what I'm experiencing.
If you watch this part right here, normally you go like this, right? You see that how it just slides across it. Say you're using too much pressure or not enough, and you try going too fast. What happens?
Going too fast. Go ahead.
What happens is this piece actually. I'm going to over dramatize this, but just so you can see it, it will actually lift up. See how it lifted up?
Mm-hmm.
And then
that allows.
And then when you go across, it skates across the top of the bevel, not the bottom where you're trying to sharpen. It goes up onto the flat up here, right?
Where you should be staying underneath it.
Correct. You should be staying down here on the bevel, and your your stone is going up, and then when it goes across the top, even for just a second, it's going to leave a little scratch right there, little one there, then one there, then one there.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Systematically.
Who is Lakeside 8?
I think that's Brando based on the picture.
Lock the elbow, and see, I'm last night I even put photograph lights on each side of it, so I thought I was doing everything right, but I'm
trying to see if I could do this from the side view.
I see what you're saying, Kyle. I see exactly what it makes sense.
I know I
from a
push
side
too
view.
hard, I go too fast,
John,
and I don't
here
have.
you go. You see how that's on there on the bevel from the side view, right?
Yep.
And if I go along that, it stays on that bevel, right?
Which is what you want every time.
Correct. Now, if I push too hard, this part can come up. And as I come up, it goes across the top. You see how that lifted a little bit? And it goes across up onto the flat. But when it does that, that's when it's going to leave those little scratches on this portion of the blade, not the actual bevel. That's what I've been trying to say is going too fast or coming up, you go on top of that versus the slurry. The slurry shouldn't have that much abrasive in it to the point where you are going to be creating.
And I know you were over emphasizing that, and I'm listening for that, but that's got to be what I'm doing. It's got to be because I'm going too fast.
Right.
And
I would be willing to bet every knife I've ever sharpened, I probably was applying anywhere between 5 and 10 pounds of pressure.
Okay, so
I know that's
pressure. Let me talk about pressure because I use pressure, but accordingly. It's only sporadically. It doesn't necessarily mean
make a slurry.
I'm doing. You definitely make a slurry when I'm getting a Blumpkin, Tina.
Some slurry.
The difference is though, Shane. Like if I'm putting pressure on something, I may like actually push down into this, but when I'm doing that, it's only for like maybe a small portion where I'm trying to work like this part right here. Yeah. I'm not doing an entire knife going back and forth real quick using all that pressure. Yeah, because then what happens is that's also when you get out here the tip.
You're gonna get the scale
right off.
I sharpen a knife like a 2-year-old eating birthday cake, dude. Just throw fucking caution to the wind, dig in with both hands, sling shit everywhere. So, I can't make myself calm down and concentrate and take my time to do it.
John, the pace that you should be using until the point that you're not getting those slurries should be this right here.
Yeah,
and just paying attention to.
If you start, do that. If you don't get slurries from there, you can pick up. But there's no point. You don't have to go, race car fast to be able to sharpen. Because what's happening is you're coming off of the bevel. I've been telling you that for 6 months, but maybe it's just hard to see when I was.
No, it's exactly. I've been listening to that. It's not that I'm not.
Sparks.
I don't think I'm realizing how little of a deviation I personally make when I get rushed to make that effect. Where I'm thinking I'm supposed.
Tasmanian devil. Dust devil come up off the blade, stroking that thing.
And the reason why I've been telling you that, John, is so like we ruled out the slurry because of how you're doing it. That's why I was talking about how to do it. But the second point was the reason why I know that is because when I was a beginner, I did the same thing. I've done that on a couple of my own knives and early on, and I realized what was causing it. So,
well, I think the speed thing, show me one more time the fastest I should go. It looked like where I'm most comfortable. That's what I do on the tip.
Me and John almost got tennis elbows sharpening them knives at Blade Show.
That was a totally different train wreck.
We're bearing out in that TS Pro.
So, John, from heel to tip, maybe like a second.
It's a nice, good glide.
Yeah, you're just trying to keep it on there. And then if you get to the point where
it ain't your dick, John, you don't yank it.
Yeah, if you get to the point where you need to go a little bit, or you're doing okay, you can go a little bit faster, that's fine. But so like that's the reason why I don't sharpen on here, is because I actually use an F clamp and clamp this heavy bastard to my table, because I like to actually, if I'm working at a certain spot, I'll get pressure and I'll get in there and work on it.
You put your finger under the blade too, don't you, Kyle? To keep it
on the tip, yeah. So that way I can get to the point where I'm doing that with my core stone. I don't use pressure like that with any other stone other than my core stone. I'm just solely using that to get through the point where I cut through what I'm trying to get through.
Which is a stone, like you said, that you're sharpening with. Your core stone is what you're doing the work with.
Correct. So I'm not using pressure on any other stone. And when I'm doing that, it's only typically in a certain area, and then I'm blending.
I guess it's probably fair to say that that's where I'm getting my scratches is on that cutting stone. Maybe not, though.
It could be.
I would be willing to bet if you laid mine on the table and rolled it, it'd fucking whoop, whoop.
That's funny.
That's why some people can get a knife sharp and do a job, and some people can sharpen knives.
Yeah, it's a skill. I'm
not the second part of that. I can get a knife sharp and make it work, but I'm not a knife sharpener.
Well, and no offense to most people, but most people don't know what sharp is either.
You're right.
That's a whole nother level of true.
Yeah.
Truth.
I saw a thing on Facebook the other day. Some old timer posted. It's like, if you're ever sitting at a table talking to a man, he flips his coffee cup over and sharpens his knife. Pay attention because he probably knows what he's talking about. Dude, I so bad wanted to comment, and then I remembered there's some old man, and I ain't causing all that drama. But, for 50, 60 years, they got an edge on their knife and got it to do what they needed it to do. But was it sharp as what we consider sharp now? Absolutely not.
No,
You do not believe how many people
shitty 1095
in Huntsville are using pull-through sharpeners. How many restaurants have them there for them to use? We have people bring their knives in, and I listen to the conversations.
That's what I used to use on this until I got my first. I think I spent $40 and bought a Lansky system.
I want to say the initials are Steve.
Kyle's going to disagree with me. But if you're on a budget and you can't afford anything, there's nothing wrong with a Lansky. You're not going to be a professional sharpener. You're not going to put a professional edge on it, but you can sharpen your knife.
For $40, I'd just tell you to get a dual grit Kingstone or dual grit.
Kyle, some of us can't do that. I do like the fact.
No. I'm saying, but to teach yourself to do it freehand, or
have y'all seen? Who's the company that sells the really Wicked Edge? Yeah. Wicked Edge just come out with a thing that you put. It's like a stone, a hand sharpening stone, but it's got this little trolley that rides on it. And you lay your knife in the, in this little thing, and you run it down the stone. Now I know for somebody like yourself, you would be interested in that, Kyle, and I'm sure it's going to have probably a 2 to 3 degree variance. But for somebody that doesn't know how to sharpen a knife, I'm glad that stuff like that exists. I wouldn't mind having one of those.
All right. I know you don't know, Mick. This is not a negative. I'm not directing this at you, but I just want to put on the record that is a clone. That's a copy off of TS Prof. And I am 100% anti-clone, whether it's whatever field it is in. So I can't stand behind that, regardless of my affiliation with any other company. If it was a clone of Wicked Sharp, I would say the same thing. I think that it should be avoided at all costs. I think you should be able to find other avenues besides that to use.
Lakeside, if you're interested in Wicked Edge, they actually have an entry-level sharpener now. It's cheaper than some of the TS Prof options, but it's not better. But if you want to get into that whole doing this, they have what was it, Ryan? You remember? Was it $250?
I'm pulling it up right now. We saw it.
Yeah, they've got a budget option, but so there's still the
thing was badass though, man.
There's still the issue of going at the same time both sides. First of all, the way it's designed. Secondly, then you have the proprietary stones. Then I don't. Yeah, the Wicked Edge is flawed by nature, but it's better than using a pull through. It's better than using something generic. So
That's what I like about the TS Prof is it's kind of like a Glock or a Jeep Wrangler, or it's modular. You know, maybe you don't like vitrified, or maybe you don't like. You know, you can change the holder, you can change the handle, you can change the length and width of the stone, you can change the type of stone. That's what makes the TS Prop superior, in my opinion. Because when you buy the Wicked Edge, just like Kyle said, you're stuck buying their really expensive stones to replace those with. Which reminds me, I owe John a stone. We legit.
No, you don't. Shane, don't even think about those anymore.
What was that? Was it a 120?
Burn through that thing in an hour.
They sent me some. I've got some.
I'm telling y'all, we sharpened 15 knives, and because I was hanging on it with both feet off the ground, trying to get them done. When we got done, John's roughest stone was legit a flat, baby butt smooth piece of steel. There's not a speck of abrasive nowhere on that fucking thing.
But Shane, the stones have been replaced. They didn't cost me a thing. TS Prof stepped up. We're good.
Right.
Maddie,
I just got to keep it down.
There 100% is a difference between the mechanism as far as how you actually adjust angles, what the rotation is, and everything else. So there definitely can be clones of that stuff. And I'm not going to call anyone out, but people who promote that kind of stuff really piss me off. So I think it's bad that.
Well, how do you feel about people who promote that stuff that TS Prof was previously good to also?
Agreed. That's part of why it pissed me off.
That's even shittier.
Yeah, that's part of why it pissed me off. So
Ryan, show that. Oh, the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, I showed it.
Look at that.
Yeah, so what was the last knife you got in before that one, Ryan? Because I feel like on your journey.
I don't know. The Prince Customs, I think.
So I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you have. I sent you a picture of it.
I think you got a new Chris Reeve too, didn't you?
Yes, it's coming tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
A Chris Reeves Prometheus collab, blue box.
So I don't know what any of that means.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, "That's mine."
I disagree with that, Todd.
He's coming home to daddy.
They're completely different.
Just so y'all know, and I don't need any opinions on this, but me and old Scab have been buddies for a while. And a lot of people have asked me how come I hadn't sent Scab anything to review yet. And it's because I didn't feel like I made anything yet that was his taste. And in all honesty, I haven't made anything that would stand up to his testing because that's not what I was trying to do. But these will be the first knives that go.
Cheeto.
Yeah. What do you say?
This is so goddamn funny. I don't care who you are.
Well, I mean, he's kind of right. But every new metal band that ever came out was a clone of Korn. And Limp Bizkit wouldn't exist without Korn. That's how they got their start. Jonathan Davis is who got them discovered.
Here's my thing. That's what, like this question. So, like, I don't have a problem with someone starting off with budget stuff, and Sharpall makes okay stuff, especially for the price point. But if you want to get into it seriously, then I say save the money. That way you're not wasting your money up front. But if you're going to do it only as a hobbyist and very rarely or occasionally, budget stuff is fine. But you don't have to buy the budget stuff that's clones. Just buy stuff that is on its own that's budgetary.
Like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, but in my opinion, the biggest difference is between buying a truly precision ground and built knife sharpener is whether you're actually getting a truly flat bevel or a slightly convex. Because a cheaper system like the Worksharp, it's going to have some convex to it because it's not holding that angle. Just the way it's made, what it's made of, all of that causes it to not be able to hold that angle perfectly as you sharpen it.
Said Stevie, that's a fact.
Instead of getting a really sharp, perfectly flat bevel, you're getting a little bit of convex, correct?
Correct. That's partially
that
the
might
difference.
not matter. And just like you're saying, that might not matter to whoever. Lakeside, that might not matter to you. You may never notice a difference, but It matters to Kyle, even if it's not his knife. It drive him nuts.
Yeah, so it's the accuracy of it, it's the quality of the machinery, and then when you really want to get into it, it's what makes a huge difference is the quality of the abrasives. So like you could get this system, and the basic stones that come with it are good. They're not going to last you a very long time. They're not going to be the best quality, but what they are is a starter set. But then you spend a lot of money to get into the good abrasives, but that makes a huge difference. Same thing when you're being a automotive painter, the quality of abrasives make a difference.
Absolutely.
Same thing when you're hand sanding knives like Shane. The quality of the
if you're the best painter in the world, your paint job is completely dependent upon your abrasives.
Right.
You didn't start out with good abrasives. The paint's just not going to be as slick.
Yeah,
Thank you, Neil. That's very kind of you, sir.
You get someone who does a paint job and they use Harbor Freight abrasives versus someone who's using 3M abrasives. There's a big difference.
I'm glad you brought that up, guys, because I have mixed emotions about Harbor Freight. We can have that conversation if you want to. But the one thing I would say to absolutely never buy at Harbor Freight is any type of abrasive. Their Hercules cutoff wheels are okay. They're decent. But I'm talking about as far as sandpaper, sanding belts, any of that shit is garbage. It's horrible.
And you speak from experience.
Yes. I've got a fucking Rubbermaid tote with literally hundreds of Harbor Freight belts in it. They are garbage.
What's up, Joe Isabella? So Mick, this is a question that is multifaceted. I'll try to answer it quick.
If I'm using it, it's only going to last about 4 knives.
So there's different types. Let me grab another stone to show you. So you have something like this, which is a basic whetstone. And it is ceramic based and aluminum oxide. So that is a Shapton. That eventually, as you use it, will start to wear and it'll start to even potentially have a dish to it. So you have to flatten it. Okay. But if you use something more like a true, just like what these come with, just a plain diamond plate, or like an Atoma, like this. This isn't that, but I'm saying just like that. The more you use it, the more the diamonds wear, and it will start to wear out within probably 30 to 50 knives. Okay. Now this one is CBN and it's vitrified, bonded. So this will basically, at that thickness there, that'll last me a lifetime. This is probably done over 100 knives already, and it's really not shown any wear at all.
I agree 100%.
Something like this, which is a resin bonded, will last probably close to a lifetime, but it will wear out faster than what the last one was. So spending the money on a good abrasive makes a difference. Like these are roughly 70 to 80 bucks a stone. And if that lasts me 200 to 300 knives easily, then it very well is worth the money versus spending something like the Atoma.
My Atoma wore out really fast.
This one costs $107 roughly. This will cut hundreds and hundreds of knives without a problem. A Atoma, which costs like 60 bucks, will last you probably 40, 50 knives tops.
I think I got about 30, but I'm heavy on it.
And then it's going to wear out to the point where you're going to need to get another one or get a replacement plate for it, right?
My Atoma 120 right now is probably a 360 grit. Like it lost bite, but like I said, I probably did apply too much pressure. I probably wore it out.
So that's the difference of when spending the money on the quality. Yeah, it's money up front, but it lasts you longer. So you're going to pay for itself in time if you sharpen a lot. But again, that'll go back to the point of hobbyist versus are you going to be in it for a while? So that makes a difference as far as where you put your money. But like if you're just starting out and you want to do it, the cheapest way to do it is freehand. And that is doing something like those sharp balls, or like the Shaptons. You can get a 3 set of Shaptons for like $135 on Amazon on sale all the time. And you're gonna have to flatten them, and It's messy, but
if you want to go that cheaper route, guys, that thing I was talking about that Wicked Edge just came out with, they're not the only ones doing that. There's a company that just makes this little trolley that sits over your stone, however wide the stone is, that just rolls back and forth over the top of your stone. So you can get that and get really good at sharpening for not a whole lot of money. It's not just Wicked Edge.
This question, first of all, no, I've never seen that happen, Patina. But they're usually not put under that type of heat to have an issue with that. So I'm not sure. And I'm not sure who this is, but if you wanted to go quickly, then yes, you need diamonds to cut through the vanadium. You can sharpen them on a lesser stone, but it's just going to take you a long time, and it's not nearly as efficient. I can sharpen high vanadium content stones, or excuse me, knives on those shaftins, even though they're not technically designed for that. But it would be quicker on my Poltavas, absolutely. But you can do it.
This takes a lot more passes and patience, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and then sorry,
most
this
of
is
us
getting into sharpening.
Yeah, most of us who aren't patient are going to give up before we ever achieve it.
Right. Sorry, it's turned into that much shame, but I'm just trying to answer some of these questions. So sorry, it turned into the sharpening, but
no, you're fine. I didn't have a whole lot to talk about anyway.
Mick, you only really need, in my opinion, to start with, you need 3. You need a ultra coarse, something to cut. You need a lower grit to get out those deep scratches from your coarse stone, and then a medium grit, and then you're done. I don't think that you need to go into the high polishing until you get later in your journey. There's no point. You don't need it. Just fancy looking. So
I don't think it cuts worth a shit.
It can if you know what you're doing. But
I know, but I just don't.
In the right steel too.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a polished edge guy.
I'm sorry. I saw another one in there. Another question.
It's on a box under the table. That's why I keep squirming, because I'm not super comfortable because my leg's up.
Not that I know of, Joe. I'm not sure that he can afford diamond nipples.
That's all geometry. That's nothing to do with the metallurgy. That's pure
aerodynamics.
And that one, the way they're bonded, Patina, the pressure won't make as much difference. They will dish to a certain extent, especially on the resin, because the resin is softer than the like on this one, the CBN, it's vitrified, and it's a harder compound, so it won't dish like the resin bonded will. Most of my stuff is below that unless it's requested. So I do more working edges than I do anything else. And working edges, depending upon the steel, will stop between F240 and F600. So
then a lot of the knives I carry that Kyle hasn't sharpened, I stop on an F150. Like, what is that, a 260 grit edge?
Roughly.
Yeah, same stone I cut the edge in with. You know, I get a burr, I strop it, I'm good to go, because I like a toothy edge.
Well, I'll show you the 2 knives I just did this.
Now, Kyle's 600 grit edge is way better. But
okay, so I'll take these out. These are ones I did for people. So here is a working edge crew wear in that is stopped at 240 and then stropped it.
I missed that knife so bad.
Is that the full size or the mini?
I don't know. Probably mini, because
hold it in your hand.
It's not huge.
Yeah, it's mini.
Yeah. I had the full size and loved it.
Anyways,
it's the best thing bitch made ever made.
That is 240. So you can still see, my camera's not focusing on that. It's hard to do that. You can still see quite a bit of those scratches in there, even though it's shiny, right? The one that I polished, I took up to F1500. And that one,
$5,000.
No, not quite that much. It's probably about 2 to 3. But you can see how much more reflective that is.
It's a badass knife.
That is a badass knife.
It's so beautiful.
Why is that? I can't get that here. Let me do if I do a color contrast. That'll show up better or not.
That's the Sydney Sweeney.
There we go.
I say that, and I'm not attracted to Sydney Sweeney at all. But
So that is at 1500. So that it makes a difference as far as the look, but
not the performance.
Performance can be, but you don't necessarily need to go to higher grit unless. But that person wanted a polished edge on that, and I offer 3 levels. I offer working edge, polished edge like that one, and a full on mirror. So, like to me, this is. Some people would say that's a mirror. There's no way that's a mirror. You don't get into a mirror until you start getting scratches out completely. You can still be polished and still be shiny, but that's a polish. So the difference in cutting is if you can keep the tooth on it, the higher you go up, and that comes down to your burr removal. And not everyone is going to be good at that until you practice. So, yeah, at the beginning, you only really need a couple stones to start with.
sorry,
So-
man. We're all a little depressed if we don't own one.
What's that?
Mick said he's going to bed. He's depressed after seeing that knife.
Oh,
You should be in my shoes and know that you could buy it. But
brash. What I typically do is when I'm done on my last stone, I'll hone with that stone, and depending upon the steel, I'll even go up 1 grit and hone with that. And then I go to either a leather strop with compound on it, or depends upon what I'm using. Sometimes I use an oak strop. That's an oak strop. This one is one of my leather strops that I use on that side. That's 4 micron. That is 1 micron. And this one on the oak is 1/4 micron. So, and I've got 6.9. I've got every freaking emulsion grit out there, but it depends.
Lacey hooked you up, huh? With a little something special.
I couldn't hear what he's saying. So he
said somebody hooked you up, but I didn't hear who he said.
Welcome back, John.
Thanks, dude.
It depends on what I'm using it for, but what I'll typically go is I'll hone with that last stone or 1 higher. Then I'll try to spend a lot of time honing it, and then I'll go to a strop, and I try to go to the lowest micron possible, depending upon how I get that burr off of there. If the burr is being difficult, then I'll go to a little bit higher of a micron. If the burr comes off nicely, then I'll go as low as I possibly can to maintain the bite in that edge. So like a lot of times, even if I go like this was finished at F240, which is roughly 400 grit. Okay. That went to a 1 micron strop, which most people would be like, what the hell? You do that on 9. No, if I did this on 9, it would rip that burr or rip the teeth out of the edge. Going to a lower one, we'll give it a little bit of polish like that. See, you're not polished, I should say, a little bit of reflectivity, but it maintains all of that bite. So I think that. Go ahead, John.
Kyle, when you hone on your last stone, are you doing 1 pass and then flipping it and doing 1 pass and then taking it to your strop?
What I typically do is I'll go a couple per side until I start feeling the burr pop off. Once that starts popping off, then I'll alternate and just light one to 2 passes per side, and then 1 pass, 1 pass, 1 pass, back and forth. And then once I do that probably 10 to 15 times, then I'll go to a strop.
Gotcha.
Kyle, what's your opinion on these educational geometry videos that Outdoors 55 has been doing recently?
Well, I would be able to talk about it, but I haven't watched them, so I don't know what they are.
I've been really interested. I feel like he's done a pretty good job of explaining a lot in terms that even a dumb redneck like me can understand.
I don't remember. Oh, I haven't even seen him, so I'm not 100% sure what he said, but I think he's pretty spot on with most of his stuff. There are some things I disagree on, but I think he does a good job for the masses, and I think that's what the appeal is, and I think that's great because he's not trying to nerd out about it because not everyone cares. I like getting a little nerdier about it because it's me, but he has the knowledge to be able to do that.
I appreciate it because I feel like he has the knowledge because he earned it. You know what I mean? He's not. I ain't trying to start no drama, but he's not Rochambeau in it. Just
Right.
repeating something he heard on the internet. He's speaking from.
Right, he's definitely something from experience and season. He knows what he's talking about.
Right.
I'm not. Tell me what kind of, I got a couple questions I need to answer from people, and then kind of explain what he talked about, and then I'll give my opinion on it. So, Mick, here. So, if you're doing like on a, tell me what you're using it on. Are you using it on like a fixed system like this, or are you using it on you're doing freehand? What are you doing? And then I can give you an idea. But still, my answer is going to be your first core stone. Try to go as low as you can, whether that be, so like this is 225, but this 225 actually cuts like a 60 grit. And the reason why I would go so low is because I'm trying to be able to limit my time on my first stone. The first stone is your most important stone out of all stones in your entire collection. This is what you set your bevel with. This is what you get chips out with. This is what you realign things with. It's the most important stone. So I don't have a problem paying more for this stone than any other stone. The reason why I go aggressive is because it cuts down your time that you have to spend on that stone, which means there's two ways to look at that. A, you can screw up a knife quicker, or B, you can spend less time messing around and get it done quicker without having to use pressure in causing problems that you don't necessarily need. Then going from this, whatever your core stone is, to a one that's a couple grits up from this. So like this is 225, my next one that I use. But again, this cuts like 60. Then I go to 240 in a resin bonded, which is this one here. I go to a resin bonded and 240. Then I go from that to resin bonded 600, and that would be the only three stones you would need roughly. So that was what I would recommend. That 3 grit range of stones. You don't need to go up into the thousands of grits. So I saw another one. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting a lot of questions. So
No, you're good, man.
I don't mean to be taking over the chat, but
we just listen and learn.
Diamond stones. It depends on what the bonding agent. If it's a diamond plate, then dry. If it is a diamond with like this one, I run this dry. My core stone. These are the next ones, the resin bonded ones. If it's resin bonded, I run them wet. I don't think if you're trying to do something where you're trying to get scratches out as you go higher in the grits, you always want to go wet. Same as like you do a sandpaper. The higher you go in grits, the more you want to go to a wet. It helps with getting the finer scratches out. Okay. Sorry, I think I'm caught up. If I missed something, let me know, guys. But I'm going to shut up and let you guys talk for a minute. So
You weren't hindering us at all.
Not at all. We were learning, dude.
Yeah, we're listening too.
Well, I feel bad. I don't want to take over the whole entire.
No, I
Chat.
think the lives are for the chat to get their questions answered from themselves or is anybody that can.
I just didn't want to. No, you're fine. You're fine, Nick. I didn't want to feel like you guys I was taking over. That's all.
I've made it very clear that I'm not a knife sharpener, so
Patty.
I'm learning too.
Maddie, you won't learn because you don't pay attention. There's a difference. But hopefully that answers all your guys' questions. If you have more, feel free to throw them out there. Or again, I've said this before to people, but if you ever have something specific you need a question on, shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm more willing to answer. So,
Tell you what's amazing to me is how many knives Microtech must sell. Because Blade HQ has a whole 3 pages of them. It looks like that just came in. We've got a bunch of them. You see them everywhere. New ones coming in stock, which means that they're being sold.
Well, John, it's because the majority of people buying those knives aren't nerds like we are, and that's why like we complain. Why won't they listen to us? Because we're not important enough for them to listen to. We're not a big enough percentage of the market.
I'm just surprised that many people.
You've told me several times since you've been at Knives and More that the majority of people that come in there to buy case knives, and that tells you right there that the majority of their customer base probably not very educated on knives. Probably know a lot about rockets.
Well, and the ones that know a lot about rockets are the ones that are buying the out the fronts, maybe because of the mechanism. Maybe that's what does it for them.
nothing truer has been said all night in this comment right there.
What?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no different than...
It's a completely different subsection to the point where I've gone down it so deep that it matters to me almost more than the knives themselves. So there's a whole aspect of learning that versus everything else. And then that turned me into steels and getting into that whole rabbit hole. So yeah, Todd's 100% spot on as usual. What are you working on there, Shane?
I'm fit to show you.
Okay.
He's focused, ain't he?
Good content.
Oh.
They're not countersunk yet.
Woo!
I'm checking to see if they're going to fit.
Wee.
I still got to countersink the holes just a little bit. I apologize. I can't read which bit this is to know what the fastener.
That handle will look good with some brass pins in it.
Shane.
Well, it's not my brass bands. It's going to be. Thank you very much, Mick. I feel like that should probably go to Kyle. He's the only one that's said anything educational tonight.
But it ain't, so don't worry about it.
But yeah, man, I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, scales are on. I could finish that. Pretty happy. I'm just happy to know the hardware's right. Boy, that thing needs some sanding though. all these edges are 90 degrees. It's uncomfortable as shit. But it won't be when I get done.
Shane, you got a kick out of this. Look at his screen name and look who it is.
Elite Lurker. That's
What's
you know
up,
what's
Luke?
funny is I don't remember Luke being that funny 2 or 3 years ago.
He was annoying as shit.
Yeah, I don't remember him. I mean, he just, he commented and stuff, but I don't remember him being purposely hilarious like he is nowadays. I'm still upset at him, though.
What's up, Homer?
I was really hoping that Benchmade North Fork would go to somebody that would love it and cherish it and carry it and use it and loot tools. I mean, I sold that motherfucker the day after I got it. Damn it. That knife was a big deal for me, boo, to be able to give away a Benchmade.
Yep.
So I was sitting here, and Puck's been outside that That cat that was feral, it just started hanging out inside. And I
We all
thought the
live
wind or something was blowing against the window. It was going boom, boom. But it was off beat, right? So I walked to the door. That's where I just went. And that motherfucker's sitting on the table out on the porch, plucking the screen like a fucking guitar.
Dude, have y'all seen that Instagram video where the guy's standing there by the fence and he plucks that tension wire on his fence, and then the horse starts moving his mouth across it and it starts playing that Tool bass line?
No.
God, it's hilarious. He's just standing there and his horse on the other side of the fence. He grabs the high tension wire and goes boing. And the horse puts his lips on it. I know the horse is not really playing the tune, but it's the it's really cool. It's that really cool bass line from the beginning of Tool Sober. It's an awesome clip, meme, whatever you call it.
How cold is it up there now, John?
What's that?
How cold has it gotten up there?
Good question. It was cold earlier. It was
I know over in Russellville this morning,
38.
within an hour, the temperature had dropped like 10 degrees.
It's 38 degrees out there now.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get this homeboy some food.
I got my heat fixed. So I'm good to go. I'm ready for the cold weather. Got him fix it outside. He fixed it. And then it still wouldn't come on. Couldn't figure out why. I came in and looked at the interior thermostat. It said it was 87 degrees in here.
Oh, God.
So,
Jesus.
And it's been saying that for like 3 days. So finally tonight, because she come in, she's like, it's supposed to be down in the 20s. So I put 2 new batteries in it. Of course, it fixed it. I'm excited about that, guys. I've never been able to make that work.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I might not glue it. In all honesty, I might not epoxy it. I may just bolt them down and leave them.
Yeah.
It's 30 out right now. It's snowing.
I'm going to tighten the shit out of these. I'm going to countersink them, put them back in, tighten the shit out of them. Then I'm going to beat it around and make sure, they're not going to come loose or... I don't know, man. I just have an issue with just those 2 tiny points of contact being the only thing holding the knife handle on. But Essie's been doing it for 40 years.
Shane, you had a question?
I haven't had it HRC tested yet, Jacob. I've done several. I've heat treated several pieces of that steel, and at the recipe I've used, I've had high 64s, low 65s every time. So, yeah, that was the next step. It's been heat treated, it's been tempered, and so once I have it HRC tested, I can grind it, get the handles on it. It won't take long.
Tina, you gonna swing over and see Shane and Ryan?
It's weird. I haven't been able to get a decent answer on how to achieve 67. I don't know that 67's necessary. If I could reach it, I'd like to, but I've heard them talk about what it'll do at 67, but nobody's given me an exact answer on how you achieve 67.
How exactly do they test for that hardness?
Huh?
How exactly do they test the hardness of that metal?
It's an HRC tester. It's just a diamond. You put the steel in there, you run the diamond down till it touches it, and it applies an exact amount of pressure pushing down, and it measures how deep the diamond goes into the steel. So the harder the steel is, the less it's going to go. If the steel's soft, it'll allow that diamond tip to sink into it. That's where you get that little divot. So
that's why you do it by the pivot.
Microscopic level, it's measuring the depth that diamond can penetrate that steel.
And you have a set hardness, actual puck disc that you put in there to
calibrate it.
Calibrate it, yeah.
Some machine shops you can trust to HRC test because, some machine shops are doing pieces that the HRC range is so vague that they're not really concerned with how accurate their tester is or how often they what's the word, Kyle?
Calibrate
it. But a lot of your aerospace engineers guys and this guy that I use, it's really weird that nobody knows these exist, and all these big name top fuel dragster guys are buying parts. engine parts, rotating assemblies, stuff for their dragsters. He's very, very picky about exact hardness numbers on his parts because they're very expensive. They might have to rescue me out of there. His big head gonna float in like an attack. Tina, I'm telling you, dude, I will drive to Georgia. I don't care if we have to hang out on the sidewalk for 10, 15 minutes. You let me know. I'll come see you.
Sorry to hear that, Luke.
I'm glad you got to go to the beach again, though.
Yeah. Yeah, man. God. You know, it's weird. And I know all y'all have I know Ryan for a fact has. I know Kyle's done it, but I don't think ever in my life have I owned an animal that I honestly spend more time worrying about what am I going to do when she's not here anymore than I do enjoying her being here.
I still have a hard time with Chipper.
We love this dog so much that we talk about it once a week. Like, what are we going to do? It's, and I hope she knows that. And I know this week, dude, I've got a whole beef shank. This piece of beef is the size of my torso. And I'm cutting it up in strips. So she's getting...
How'd you afford half a cow?
Huh?
How'd you afford half a cow?
My brother works at a cow ranch.
Oh.
It was gifted to me.
So
He dropped it like it's hot. He stole that bitch. He rode it out of the pasture.
There's so much beef just laying around in deep freezers in that place that none of them people ever have to buy beef. Because if they have a calf that's born and it weighs 5 pounds less than every other calf that's come out of that particular bull and that heifer, as soon as it's old enough, it's meat. You know, you wouldn't dare risk your name and your reputation on very expensive sperm by selling them the sperm of a calf that was.
So that calf gets.
Yeah.
Who's had thunder?
Dude, I had a blast on. I know some of you guys were there with Bob DeMarco. Apparently,
what was that?
That was thunder.
That was an explosion on my sound thing. I said the cow gets popped.
Oh, I thought it was something Kyle did, and then I heard him ask about it.
Apparently, Bob DeMarco did not know that Gaston Glock is one of the premier horse sperm dealers in the world.
Oh, that's what they started out as.
Yeah, some of the most expensive horse sperm you can buy comes from Glock. Yeah, I think he created Glock just to cover the expenses because there's no money to be made. I mean, that sperm's outrageous expensive, but when you realize what it costs to maintain those horses, there's no money to be made. But when I mentioned it, Bob thought I was kidding. I had to send him a picture of the catalog. They literally have a catalog. Like you can look at you can look at the stud and find out, exactly when it was born, what it weighed when it was born, what it weighed when it was weaned, everything it's eaten, how often it's been ridden, walked, washed, brushed, everything about it before you purchase that sperm to impregnate your horse with.
Well, it's also in the owner's manual of a Glock.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I've never owned a Glock because I hate them.
I do too, but I've seen the manual.
I appreciate them for what they are. If you own one, I'm not trying to start a gun debate.
They're just.
It just feels. It's just the worst feeling thing I've ever held in my hand.
Look at this picture.
Wow.
Someone sent me that. That's their collection of ABWs.
That's badass.
That is badass.
Gary, I don't know. I doubt. I don't know if they would waste any of it to let you taste test it before you purchase it. I don't know if there's a flavor profile. It completely depends on the bull. I will say, though, dude, the one thing that blew my mind the most, I learned and saw shit that I had no idea existed. I didn't know how we feed people in this country. And I wasn't even working at a meat farm. I was working at a genetics farm. the thing that blew my mind the most was when I went to watch this prize bull. You're talking about, paying six figures for a tube of sperm to impregnate your flock with. I went to watch him be ejaculated. I had this vision.
As one does.
Yeah, I had this vision that they're going to bring in a heifer in heat. It's not how they do it. They bring in a young calf, a young steer. They bring this young steer and put it in front of the bull, and that arouses it. It doesn't arouse him because he thinks he can breed it. I'll get to that. But as soon as he sees it, he'll climb up
It's
on
that
it.
chocolate starfish, isn't it?
No, he'll climb up on that fake cow.
Just
and they don't pump. Like literally, that thing comes out, and he hits it so hard. There's not even a hole there. He just bangs against it so hard, like it would crush a vehicle. I'm talking about the whole building shakes when he does it. He hits one time, and it all comes out. And there's somebody down there with a receptacle catching it. So I asked the guy, I was like, why do you use a calf?
Jobs I will never do.
That sounded like practice.
He said because
He knows an awful lot about it.
well, I mean, I lived it for a while.
No, we're talking about the noise that John made and his mouth movement.
That's it.
But apparently, that's what bulls do. Is
Jeffrey Dawson's facts.
they mount steers. They don't penetrate them, but they mount them and spray sperm all over them to let them know who the fucking boss is. How
Sounds
gangster
like-
is that, dude?
Sounds like
They
Catholic
walk around
Mass.
the pasture
wild,
all
too.
day, and like, look at that young steer over there. I'm gonna go over and fucking remind him, and they'll just mount them and fucking cover them in sperm and walk off.
That
That's
sounds,
Not degrading, man.
that sounds like Catholic
Yeah.
Mass.
But they're such dumb animals, dude. Other than their ability to figure out ways to get through.
Stevie really
I've
does.
literally watched heifers hump heifers. Like when they go into heat, that other heifer smells it. She knows that heifer's. It's just instinctual. She'll climb up on her and start humping her. She ain't got a penis. But
How do you know that? Did you ask?
I can see it. I'm right there. They're doing it right in front of me. I had to get out.
Did you ask her gender, the heifer's gender?
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that.
I drop in my little Milky the cow.
I know y'all
drop.
think it's funny when I talk about it. It's just, but it really is amazing when you go to a place like that and you realize what is really going on and what makes the world work. How are we feeding 350 million people? Because if you leave it to the cows on their own, the insemination rate is less than 50%. If you artificially inseminate, it's around 86.
That's because they're blowing it all over those little boy sperms.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why when you go to Barnes Herefords, every one of those bulls are in a paddock by themselves. That's tens of thousands of dollars that you don't
Build
want to
up. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the longer you make them hold it, the more potent it is and the more quantity you get. But just so y'all know, they do get, when the artificial insemination is over, and they know which ones are open and which ones aren't, they'll put those open heifers in the pen with those bulls, so they actually do get to have sex. So you have to keep their motivation up. You can't just have them bashing a bucket all the time.
Well, that's at least a little bit of kindness.
Yeah,
Aww.
they get to bang every now and then.
Romantic bucket.
But if you ever bite into a steak, think, man, this is tough. If you ever touch a bull, you'd understand that they don't feel like flesh. They feel like a coarse hair glued to concrete. There's not a soft spot on a bull. It's just all hard, knotty.
Bulls aren't steaks, though, are they?
Huh?
Are bulls steaks? They're not what you. I mean, I know they can be.
No, the beef you buy at the grocery store is all male.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. You think about it. If you started a farm right now and you had a bull and a heifer, and they breed, if if she gives birth to a heifer, now you have two. So next year you're going to have two calves born. If she keeps giving birth to heifers, your herd just keeps growing and growing for free. It didn't cost you anything for that herd to grow. However, you can't have multiple bulls unless you have a bunch of heifers. So when the steers, after they wean, and you feed them off with grain, you take those. Yeah, almost every piece of beef you've ever ate was a male. Now, by the time the heifer is out of her breeding cycle, that meat quality is so low. That's like grade C meat. The only people who will buy it's like Taco Bell and places like that. Try to screw me and blow a hole in my cheek. Yeah. So almost all the beef you eat comes from male cows.
I hope so, Papina.
Unless it's Taco Bell. Taco Bell literally buys
At least I did.
the beef
I
and
knew what
chicken
the answer was going to be.
that nobody else will purchase. Just the lowest.
That's
They
so
can have
true.
they can have a huge cancerous knot in it and just cut the knot out and throw that away. All that beef that was surrounding it, all that shit goes to Taco Bell.
No, I wanted the answer. I wanted the whole answer. I kind of got the gist of it, but I was getting nibbled on. I don't know if y'all could tell. For some reason, Puck's really hungry. I think he's probably been out seminating some little cats. He's been gone for like 14 hours, and he wanted to eat again. He was letting me know with these little cat bites. They don't break the skin, but they're like make you think they could.
You bite that son of a bitch back, he'll quit biting you.
He's pretty frisky, man. I've gotten, you know what I do with him? And he knows now I just have to hold it up. I squirt him with that sharpening solution that's got a little soap in it, a little oil and water. I'll blast his ass with that if he gets too bitey. He gets handsy too.
Jeffrey, you're 100% right, and I'm not speaking better than thou because I eat that garbage too. But just so you know, if you're picky, you probably shouldn't eat Taco Bell.
Yo quiero.
The safest way, and that's another thing, the safest way to buy chicken is to buy the whole chicken. Because that means the whole chicken had to be healthy. The chicken comes in and it's got some fucking a third wing growing out of its thigh.
What if I just want the nuggets?
They take all the other parts and sell them in packs of drums and packs of thighs. So if you want to know that the whole chicken was healthy, you buy a whole chicken. You don't buy a pack of breast or a pack of thighs or a pack of legs.
Nuggets are like
pink sludge.
But no, they're like bologna. It's just all lips, assholes, and sawdust, and I'm good with it.
Yeah, they literally just
They're
grind it
fucking
up.
delicious, man. They fry those things up just right.
It comes out of a tube like toothpaste, and then it's dropped.
I could eat 20 of them right now with hot mustard sauce.
Me too. Yeah.
Meat paste. You're right, Homer.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Delicious meat paste.
Yeah, and if you
probably the most unethical thing I've ever seen in the food industry, though, I worked at I used to work for a uniform company. We delivered uniforms, rags, rugs, mops, smocks, all kinds of stuff. Schools, restaurants, mechanic shops, everything. And I'm 99% sure Ryan has eat this food. There's a particular grocery store here in town that learned that when the beef starts to turn brown, if you soak it in pork blood, it'll turn back pink. Now you think about this. How many Muslim or Buddhist people have eaten that beef soaked in pork blood and not known? Dude, that's wrong. That's just flat out wrong to do that.
I'll tell you, that reminds me of this.
You want to guess who it was?
Me?
Piggly Wiggly?
Nope. Burton's.
Yeah.
You imagine the lawsuit, dude, that somebody found out that they've been feeding.
Do you know the difference between kosher chicken and just regular chicken?
I have no idea.
There's a prayer played over a loudspeaker when they're killing the chicken.
I know with beef, it's got something to do with they leave them hanging to drain all the blood or something, don't they?
I don't know about that. I just know
kosher beef is bled out more or longer or something. I don't
know. How do you bleed out a hot dog? They make kosher hot dogs. How do you bleed out a hot dog?
I mean, the animal is still just, more of the
I'm
blood.
actually here in a couple of weeks. I'm actually moving a bunch of equipment that makes the hot dogs and dog food and stuff like that.
Same thing.
It's like, it
Hot
really
dogs,
is.
It's the same thing.
It's all the same thing.
But we're
Right.
fixing to start an all meat diet for BB. So I've been testing her to see if she'd eat raw meat, and I know she will. So we're going to switch her to a raw meat diet, see if we can get a little more quality of life and more years out of her.
Shane's worried about getting special diets for my dogs over here, eating chocolate and drinking beer.
Even large.
He's living the life.
Dude, he goes apeshit for hot tea and beer. He'll
Jacob,
literally almost smack it out of your hand.
He is. My dad butchered cows for 20 years. Are you saying I'm right, Jacob? It's got to do with the fact that they drain the blood? I'm curious what you're
Hot
agreeing.
dogs aren't kosher. Mick Ranger says that makes sense.
Ryan, now that you're
Yeah, Jacob said his dad butchered for 20 years. It's got to do with they have to drain all the blood.
now that you're hauling stuff, Ryan, you glad you don't have to come all the way up here to haul something back?
No, heck, I'm just home for a few hours. I'm leaving tomorrow afternoon, going back to Russellville.
I forgot to send you that. I want to send you that phone number right now before I forget it. Like I said, it might not work out, but while I'm thinking about it, if I don't do it, I'll.
Not a rabbit, Malcolm. That's funny.
I just meant that you didn't have to make the trek is what I was getting at, Ryan.
Oh. No, I was actually looking forward to coming up there.
We were
I
all
just
going to pile
I
in.
didn't realize I was going to be this involved in this job. I'd never signed on to be.
When you talk about how involved you are and how much your work, are you actually like have to be on the job site? I mean, you actually like pulling wire, doing work, so you're not just.
No, I'm not. I'm not like doing the actual. I've got guys that do that, but I'm actually overseeing the entire electrical installation for the whole refrigeration system.
I got you. That's what
Like
I'm.
we're building like I'm bringing in.
Troubles when the boss is out there wiring.
Yeah, no, I'm bringing in like a whole new service to the plant. We're building a whole new electrical room, everything. We're adding a lot to this plant, so it's a big project.
Nice.
I just realized, Ryan, that when I changed phones, I lost his number, so I'll message him. Get it for you. I have to get it for you later.
But yeah, when I signed on, I was just going to be a sub. My company was. I was going to just supply labor to the electrical company that was doing it. The owner of that electrical company is about 80 years old, and he's just kind of out of it. He was really just funding it. Well, his project manager tore his knee up and had to have his knee rebuilt, and he's been out and he had to come back, so it all fell on me.
Make sure it got done right.
Yeah, so they redid the contract, and now I'm the company. So it's a good opportunity. It's just a lot of stress, a lot of time.
Are you still the light at the end of the tunnel yet?
No, we'll be there till probably March, maybe a little later.
I mean, you can always look at it like this. There's, it's job security.
It is, and that's why I'm so involved with this, because, I mean, after this one, I won't have to do it anymore. I'll be able to take some time away from job sites and stuff like that. So,
because you've been so immersed in this, it's so unusual.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
They
I'm
usually
kind of
run smoother.
I guess I'm proving myself. I guess so to say.
Well, that
I could do it by myself.
hopefully you're getting to the point, Ryan, where you're getting the clientele that you can start training someone to be second in command, so you don't have to be there doing it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. In a roundabout way, I guess. Yeah. So from this point, if this goes good, then I can just concentrate on growing the company and not have to be so involved on site. So That's the plan anyway.
Well, that's where you're going to be more valuable, anyways.
Yeah.
Not saying you can't do the work, but I just meant as far as actually.
No, you're exactly right. It is.
And I think there's still a huge opportunity up here, especially with the moving of Missile Command.
There is a major.
How much shit's going to be going up out by the arsenal?
I definitely want a remote office there in Huntsville.
We need to talk about that.
In the back of Knives and More.
There and in Atlanta too. There's a whole lot of work going on in Atlanta too.
I wonder how much more work we're going to see in all these other states. Maybe I shouldn't have this conversation. It's political, but I'm really curious to watch over the next couple of years and see how many companies bail out of New York. I just don't get it.
A lot.
You can't tell people that we're going to take all your wealth and expect them to stay. And then if they don't stay, how do you pay for all these? I don't. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well,
I never thought I'd live in a time when we would see an openly socialist politician win an election.
Thank you, like I said.
What they're actually trying to do, Shane, I don't know if you've seen this, is they're trying to get to the point where, like, what this has already happened in San Francisco. They're trying to do it for New York City, where if now that the tax rate supposedly is going to change, that if you pull a business out of there after a certain point, they're going to start fining the businesses for leaving.
That seems un-American.
Yeah, how does that sound?
They're putting it into the bylaws, regardless of what you think. That's what they're doing. There's a lot of stuff that gets put through that never is.
Man, I got into knives because I went down that whole rabbit hole of prepping, and I think prepping is a fun hobby. I think it's absolutely a great idea to have reserves of things in order to take care of your family if something happens, all that good stuff. But for me, it was a fun hobby. And literally yesterday, it hit me. I kept thinking, I've always prepped on the side of, if or when society collapses. I really think I think it already has. I mean,
we're not
all starving to death yet, but I don't think there's any coming back from.
No,
I'm not just talking about a socialist running New York City. I'm talking about how easily we're all persuaded, how easy it is for us to, in a flash, in a moment, decide that we dislike somebody because of something they said or something they believe. I don't think we're ever going to come back from it.
Well, it's also become, how do you phrase it? The free information is so vast now and it's so at your fingertips, which leaves room for so much bad information that people rely on.
Recognized too, though, Kyle.
That's my point. That's my point.
Even the people that we agree with them because they weaponized it and they put it in front of us all day, every day. We don't know. I've never in my life felt like I knew less about what was going on than I do right now. And I can Google anything and get an answer, but
you don't know if it's true or not.
Anything is, yeah.
It's just like school. You got to look at your sources and you got to read a lot of articles, because what I was going to say,
I don't think it's possible. I don't think there's a single honest source out there.
No, because people are making content, but what you're talking about is exactly right. But in that content, if you read it, that's how people formulate opinions. You take bits and pieces of what.
And keep in mind, man, if you look back through history, like I said, I don't think we can ever come back from it. Every time something like this, it all ends the same way.
It's a collapse of civilization, period.
It all ends the same way. It all ends in violence.
Yep.
And then whoever wins has to start over. And I don't want that, man. I don't think people understand. And what gets me is these people in these cities don't understand. It was just like back in the medieval days. You had these castles, these walls where all these people lived right there in and around the castle. And those were all the wealthy people. And they couldn't live for more than a week without all those poor people that surrounded that place. providing them what they need. Like literally, if farmers decided to stop shipping food to New York tomorrow, they'd all starve to death in a month. Because it's not like they don't just have the knowledge. They're not capable of producing.
No land.
Right there it is, Todd.
Yeah.
Morally,
I hate the thoughts that our kids and grandkids are going to suffer the consequences of all this. And
morally,
you know what?
Maybe a long time ago.
Maybe my way. Maybe maybe it's not right. I don't know. I know that. If you know me well enough to know my thoughts, my opinions, and my beliefs, even those are all corrupted.
Sure, we all of ours are. We're all biased in what we've been fed from school to. I mean, I look at the things I can fact check as being 180 degrees wrong that we were taught in school, and I don't know how other schools were getting taught. I just know that I was formed from a system that was fucking flawed. Well, my opinions, my beliefs.
This isn't a political part, but like when you look at, if you ask anybody on the planet, not anybody, a large majority of people on the planet, when you take the name Michael Jackson, the man's dead, and he's still associated with being a pedophile.
See, I was hearing the Thriller bass line when you said that. That's the first thing that came to mind. Right.
Even though all those kids have came forward since and said that shit never happened. Their parents just wanted a settlement. So even though it's been proven that he didn't do any of that, we don't go back and change anything. Like nobody's made any effort to change what the truth. We just allow it to be. The government just a few years ago, they declassified the documents that showed that the whole reason we entered the Vietnam War was a complete fucking lie. Yeah. The whole Gulf of Tonkin thing never happened.
And it was sold to
nobody cares. Nobody cares anymore.
There's money in war.
Right. Oh, it's the most profitable business.
The economy's propped up by it, I'm afraid.
It's what runs the entire world. That's why there's conflicts constantly. Shane, though, going back to what you were talking about, John, what you're talking about with the schooling, that is one of the biggest rackets in the entire country is the teachers union and what they actually put out for the teachers and what they get out of it and how they donate their money being a union and who they back and everything. The test scores have never been lower, and yet we're spending more on average than we ever have and more than most countries do. And our scores are completely lower, but yet these teachers refuse to be evaluated based on their
abilities.
The most basic example of that is that we are still teaching children that the first white person that ever stepped foot on the United States was Christopher Columbus.
Right.
We still teach that to this day.
Yep.
And it has never been true. Like, we never even thought it was true.
Yep.
Like, they knew for a fact that the Vikings had been here hundreds of years before. But it's just weird to me that none of it matters.
Or who the actual original inhabitants were here. You look through
the truth is,
the land bridge.
Really know. Yeah, the land bridge. The American Indians came here from Mongolia. I mean, we know that by DNA testing. American Indians are Mongols. And then when Spain discovered Mexico, you had Spanish breeding with Mongolians, and that's where all your South American DNA comes from. Your Mexicans, Hondurans, Ecuadorian, all that stuff. But it's just mind blowing to me that it's so easy to see that we don't know what the answer.
I can hear that, Jacob.
But we're all okay with just accepting who the fuck ever decided is going to be our truth.
To me, that's fascinating on who decided that was going to be our truth and where that comes from. Because some of it seems so, like the Columbus stuff, seems so not even important.
Here's another thing, though. You look at, we've got Black History Month in this country, and you look at, when you start talking about Black history, it's the history books act like it started with slavery. Like that's where it all starts. If you try to research, the Black history, it all starts at slavery. Yet those people had, conquered kingdoms before that.
There's rich history.
That's not all they've ever been. They know for a fact. Anyway, it just blows my mind that we just accept all this
How
stuff.
sad would it be if it's just simply economics if they don't want to reprint the fucking textbooks?
It's not.
They reprint them. They reprint them when it comes to gender.
They reprint them all the time.
Yeah,
There's new editions, new volumes all the time.
Well, I just wonder what is the force or the union that determines what coursework is going to be taught to a fourth grader.
They would rather keep on with a lie than admit they were wrong.
Well, it's also, again, like what John said, it is the union. They determine the coursework, and they determine, what is available to be taught.
Isn't there an education department, though? Doesn't that come from the government, Kyle, in some way?
Yeah, but they're at the behest of the teachers union because they hold the union powers, so they can all go on strike or do whatever they want.
We'll teach or we won't teach that. We will teach that coursework or we won't.
There's reasons behind all that, John.
They're the second largest political donor in the entire country out of every organization in the country. The teachers union is the second largest donor politically.
Holy smokes! I wouldn't think they had the revenue to be that.
Yeah.
Where's their revenue generated from? That's even scarier.
Look into it. They have a ton of money.
But it's still weird to me that you can go to certain towns, like right here in Rainbow City. Ryan knows it. He probably went to school there. John Jones, excellent school. We have all this shit we see on the news. We've never experienced any of that. Like it just doesn't exist here. I don't know how they get away with doing it right, and other schools act like they can't. I just don't understand the programming, man. I don't get it.
Shane,
Programming Black people to think that their history started with slavery. That makes no sense. They don't, not giving them anything to be proud of prior to that or since then, really.
Well, maybe that's just set in their American history. Maybe, I don't know, because I don't research it.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, you go to other countries or you ask people from other countries what they learned in school, and a lot of it's completely different.
Yeah. Shane, do you know what the breakdown is as far as how much a student gets depending upon where they're at in the country?
I have no idea.
So some of the largest, when breaking down per number, like how much a student is valued at what they get to go to school, the largest districts where they get money to be spent on them are Baltimore, New York, Chicago. And you look at their numbers, they're the absolute worst in the entire country, and they get the most money federally.
Well, but that's because, test results are low, so we just keep throwing money at it, hoping it'll get better.
That's my point. That's my point.
More money is not the issue.
Correct. And that was what I was getting to, is the point of
bad grades in school are a reflection of, most of the time, are a reflection of home. It doesn't have anything to do with how much money you spent trying to educate that kid.
Well, and this is something that's a little diversion, but it's reality. When I was raising a kid who's now 26, I think, and I was having to help her with her homework, and they were shoving new math down our throats. Do y'all ever remember that? Did any of y'all experience that as a parent, trying to wrap your brain around it?
Almost went to jail over it.
Let me tell you something, dude. It's maddening to learn how I was taught, and then to try to tell my kid, you got to figure that there's no. I don't understand why anybody would have thought that concept up.
Let me tell you my example, John.
Aliens.
Yours is going to be way more complex because of the age of your child. My daughter was in 3rd grade. She comes home like she does every day. I open her backpack. I check her work. I look at her homework. I look at her all of her scores. Previous night's homework, I had checked it before she turned it in. And it was 3rd grade math. So there was this picture of these ducks. On the left hand of the picture, there's 3 ducks. The right hand side, there's 2 ducks. And it said, write a mathematical sentence. You know, that's the whole new math thing. So my daughter wrote 3 + 2 = 5. And it was marked wrong. And I just couldn't accept it. So I call. Of course, they won't call me back. So I go to the school. And I'm like, I'm trying to be a part of my child's education. And I don't know how I can help if 3 + 2 doesn't equal 5. And she was like, well, 3 + 2 does equal 5. I was like, then how is it wrong? She said, well, you can clearly see that the 2 ducks on the right's feet are flat planted on the ground. The 3 ducks on the left's toes are curled up, which shows that they're walking. So the 2 ducks were the original ducks. And the 3 ducks walked up to them. So it's 2 + 3 = 5. And I nearly lost my fucking mind, dude.
Yeah, just shut up. That's not how it works.
And that's much simpler than some shit I went through that was just even more.
What you went through was 3 + 2 = fucking 5.
No, I'm talking about when I was teaching my daughter. It was like 3 + 2 don't equal 5.
Yeah, that's at that basic a level, because literally just their little feet were just curved a little bit, which indicated that they were walking. So they were adding to the original.
I would have thought they could have been 3 gay ducks that was just pointing their toes up.
Yeah,
they're in that resting position.
Yeah, Patina. But at the end of the day, 3 + 2 = 5 was marked wrong on her paper, and that's really all that matters in life. That's all she needs to know is that 3 + 2 = 5, and they told her that wasn't right.
And what you don't understand is how, and you do understand because you witnessed it, how frustrated my daughter got trying to learn something that was in no way going to better her ability to exist and make a living.
A whole sheet of paper to do a multiplication problem. A whole sheet.
Yeah.
Paragraphs. To how you.
Yeah.
So I was always pretty good with math to a certain point. And I never had to show my work. I never had to, write it all down and draw it out. I could just figure out in my head, put the answer down. It was right. And it aggravated me when, they would get on to me because I didn't show my work. I'm like, what difference does it make?
Same. I absolutely hated that.
Long form.
If I can do it in my head, yeah. But that's my point. Everything in life now is new math. Like we've overcomplicated everything to a point that we have forgotten all that matters is being a fucking decent person and treating each other decently.
There's a lot about the golden rule that is true. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you, and everybody basically basic bitches. I don't get where all the institutionalized confusion comes from, unless it's designed to confuse by its own being.
Lakeside, I still can't go to
there.
School. You can go to Etowah High School and get in, but I can't.
That's the fact, my friend.
Yep, that's correct.
Mind control.
I have been trespassed for life from my alma mater. I can never step foot back at Etowah High School. Etowah High School, the Fuzzy Duck, East Gadsden Waffle House, and
Burger King. Shane, I remember that very, very vividly. I remember getting in trouble because in trade class, I wasn't writing everything out. Like you're just cheating. I'm like, no, I'm doing the formulas in my head. They're like, no, you're not. Right. I'm like, then test me right now. Give me some tests, and I'll do it right here without.
Do you do math backwards too?
It depends on how you're talking about backwards.
And Kyle, in all truth, is probably because you were smarter than your teachers, and your teachers were threatened. That's what the other part of the conversation is when we would go to parent-teacher conferences, because we went to every one just to make sure we were keeping up with Brittany, because we held her in first grade twice because she wasn't learning, she wasn't picking up reading. But the teachers looked scared. They were every single one we went to, they were uncomfortable meeting with the parents. They didn't seem qualified, and they seemed to be reading from a script. They all read from the same script, is what it seemed like to me. This was in basic bitch city schools, Madison County, Huntsville, Alabama.
Fuck you, Patina. But yes, I was an all advanced math class. I took actual trig and pre-cal as a sophomore.
Yeah. But you know,
Once you
going
got
back
into variables,
to
I
the origins
quit.
of this story, I guess you can't really expect much more when, as a race, as a species, you know, we've really never been that good at people, in all honesty. You know, looking back on it, we've always taken what we wanted by force, and the other party was just, just had to live with it. But I don't know. I don't know that there's another way. Though.
That's human nature. That's how we're
Another way.
Since the beginning of time. That's you figure out. Okay, this spot here is mine. You're not going to have it. If you try to come take it from me, I'm either going to defend it or I'm going to let you have it.
Right.
And that's the end of the story.
And it kills me how we pick and choose, like how the atrocities committed on one people,
right,
better or worse than the atrocities committed on another.
We have to try to rationalize it the way.
Yeah, hate is hate. You can't. In my opinion, you can't say that the Japanese slaves that built the railroads had it any worse than the Irish slaves that built the subways. Both are horrible.
Yep.
But how do you just ignore one like it never happened? I don't know, man. It's never going to make any sense to me.
No, and I think it's because it's set up that way. I mean, it's institutionally set up to confuse and to keep the masses at bay, or comfortable or whatever. I mean, to me, it's just.
I don't know if it's the time.
I don't get it.
Frame that it's now 11:48 or on Sunday or this conversation, but we just dropped to like 15 people.
I'm sure it's the conversation, and that bothers me too, man. That I really wish people could have a conversation without, because I don't feel like anything we have said is offensive.
And it could be just the opposite, Shane. It could be because it makes people's head hurts because they know there's no way that we can. It frustrates. It could be that people get frustrated hearing about it because they know we're helpless to make change. Right. That they're not saying what you said I don't agree with. It's just like, this is the kind of conversation I've been trying to get away from.
Well, I think we can, but I think we concentrate too much on trying to make a change globally, nationally, statewide. When in all reality, the only change you can make is what you can physically touch. You can be a good person and be nice to the people around you and try to have some type of impact on their life. But we're all so worried about, I brought this conversation up, worried about people in New York City. Those people don't affect me. I hope it doesn't affect Bugsy negatively, but there's nothing I can do about it. So why not even care?
And it goes back to, I think, what we've all been in different places taught to believe, and maybe some people do get offended by opposite.
I do think there's something to be said for the fact that there's very little mental health issues in the Amish community. So
there's a lot to be said about that.
They don't worry about anybody but themselves. They're all good to each other. They're all happy.
And diseases, lack of diseases too.
Right.
No, I think conversations are healthy and I don't think anything. I hope that I didn't offend anybody because nothing I said was in hate or negativity. It's just the way I interpret the way I was taught is not.
I've lost more friends, internet friends, but I've lost more friends this past year than I ever have at any time span of my life, and I don't think I'm politically charged at all. Like I've lost friends over people assuming how I feel about certain things or what I believe. They don't even know. They've never asked. We've never had a conversation about it.
You shed weight. You haven't lost friends in that case.
Do you really call them friends if that's the case?
Well,
it's disheartening because you think that they are.
It's weird that we can say we're friends with somebody we've never even met in person. That's no generation has ever had to deal with this before until us. But guys that I've had conversations with, like deep conversations about their lives and shared things, and then all of a sudden, because I don't because I don't agree with them about one particular thing. And it's never even that I don't agree with them about a thing. It's that I don't agree with them wholly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not 100% in on how they see it. And now all of a sudden, I'll never forget that message. I told you about it, Kyle. That the particular guy said when he said, I thought you were different.
Right.
And I was just like, I know it's silly. And I know it probably wouldn't have bothered you at all. But it did bother me that this guy was cutting ties 100% when I've never been anything but kind to him.
You know what my first response to that would have been?
You'd have told him to fuck off.
No, my first response would have been bye. Like very
and that's
little.
what I did because I knew there was no talking my way out of it. If I didn't,
why would you want to?
If I didn't bend the knee and lie and say, yeah, man, I agree with everything you say, that's been the end of it.
And to me, not knowing who that is, anybody that's that direct, that's a psychopathic behavior. Call it what you want.
People don't realize it is possible because Kyle and I see vastly different on lots of subjects. We've talked about a lot of things that we do not agree on. Yet somehow we talked about them respectfully with one another. We respected each other's opinions.
Broaden your own opinions.
I feel like we love each other like brothers at this point in our life, and it's okay that I don't see everything the exact same way that Kyle does.
And that's the difference in true friendship, relationship, than just social.
Nor do I expect you to, though, Shane.
Social psychology bullshit, where you can make a judgment on something based on a couple of words somebody said. Now, there's some words that I guess you could say that would be considered damning, but for the difference is we can embrace the things that we have in common with somebody and look past the things that we don't share the same beliefs in if we value that person. And if you never build up any value in that person and are so able to discard somebody because it's social media, you're not lost anything in that disenchantment or whatever. It's just
Javon,
like,
I agree with that, but there are certain things in life that if someone that morally, if I disagree with them on something and there's no steadfast and there's no discussing it, then yeah, it's parting ways immediately. I'm not morally bending my beliefs in certain topics to appease anyone, and that's because I'm comfortable with who I am and what I believe. I think it's good to discuss things and be able to listen to other people's opinion on things, but there are certain topics that there's no bending.
Yeah.
No, but rarely do those topics come up in a chat room where you're going to be
Correct.
so turned off by a belief that you might not even know that in real life.
Correct.
If it's something that's, because I'm thinking, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I'm thinking that something deep and dark that we can't morally agree with that would sever ties with anybody if you're rational. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about it later. But yeah, just as far as basic human beliefs. So
do you guys realize how weird it is, though, that we're having this conversation at all? Like the majority of us, well, might be the best example because me and John and Ryan are all right here close and we have all met. But the majority of this community have never met, probably may not ever meet. We came together over a passion for knives. Nobody before us has ever navigated these waters. You know what I mean? Our parents never
didn't have these same channels of communication. No, it's very social and it's weird. I mean, it's just by nature, if you think about it. If you think about the way, I mean, this conversation could go on forever, but the way that.
See, that's funny. It's funny. I don't care who you are. It's funny. Even if you are a Jehovah's Witness, it's funny. If he had added Baptist to that, it would still be fucking funny.
We should all be able to laugh at things that are obvious truths.
But we can't. We just can't anymore.
Yeah, I'm Shane. Shane, I don't know how to, not in a bad way, but Shane cares more about what people think than I do. I'm kind of cold when it comes to that. Like, if I feel I've wronged you, then we'll have a discussion and I'll apologize and we'll move on. But if there's just an argument, like I don't give a shit. See it. Like it doesn't
And
phase.
that probably is a fault on my part that I put as much weight into some people that I have when it was never necessary or justified. But you know, I still, I still, my greatest joys in life has always been seeing joy in somebody else's life. You know,
Okay.
whether it's seeing them succeed or whatever. You know, I don't know.
I mean, that's why I'm absolute horrible at receiving gifts or compliments or whatever else because I like to be the one to give them. Because,
Right.
but I also am the person that if you expect them or beg for them, you're never going to get them. It has to be it has to be on my terms. Like I want to do it out of the kindness of my heart, not because I feel obligated. And to be put in that position, yeah, like and again, this is something that we're doing for on the internet with people we'll more than likely never meet. And how much weight do you put in that if you don't talk to them outside of these scenarios? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Shane and I talk probably daily or almost every day,
Yeah.
and there's a different relationship there than I have with someone who I just see in chats and I say hello to. Like, that's going to affect me differently how I feel about something. So,
Yeah. I mean, I've shared things with Kyle that, and you guys know, I'm the first one to make fun of myself. But I've shared things with Kyle that it takes a lot of trust to share some of the things that I have with him because I know that if the right people had that information, they could use it against me. But I
And
hope
Shane, I
Kyle.
think we were kind of victims, and we weren't early in it, but because we bonded long before we knew each other
Yeah.
from chats. We spent so much of our social lives in chats before we ever had channels or thought about having channels. Um,
Because we were
yeah,
both extremely depressed and
yeah,
needed
and
something.
needed that community, which again saved my life. I think in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Um, how it's and maybe that's why I put more weight into more surface like relationships. If I'm communicating with somebody via words, even if they're just typed, I feel more responsible to be transparent. Maybe I expect that when I shouldn't expect that on the other side because I have no idea who I'm communicating with. But it's
Yeah.
just the way I think maybe I came into the community naive and Shane's the one that broke the news to me about monster racing. I remember one of the first times we talked.
It was so weird back then. Nobody wanted to believe it. Like I had
We were,
people just flat out tell me, "I want nothing to do with this." Okay.
yeah,
You know.
because they thought it was drama. Because again, we were just trying to live lives in, from outside into an inside weird world that we felt comfortable in. It was just strange. It was a strange time. I'm sure it's gotten a lot stranger because it's gotten a lot bigger and shit has gotten so much weirder.
It is weird how infamous he is at this point, though. Like, I still can be in a room and wonder, is Tim here? Is he lurking? Who
And it
is he
wasn't
now?
that he was that egregious in the dollar amount he was, but it was
Yeah.
just that he was that trusted. He bought himself into so many of our hearts.
Oh, it
With
was egregious, John. It was tens of thousands of dollars by
I
the time.
know it was. I know it was a lot, but it
Well,
was
he very well could have been Kathleen Smith. It's entirely possible until we saw her on camera. But until
right.
we saw her, that very well could have been Tim Morgan.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about the internet world. You never
Yeah.
know. And we know from some of our good funny friends how aliases work. You can do that.
Yeah. 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 We've all used them at this point.
Cliff, you're on thin ice, buddy.
And what's interesting is to pop in to some of these bigger chats that are doing giveaways that publicize their giveaways. Nothing wrong with that if you want to do that. But it brings in people that I think prey on the knife community and just they're not there for anything else.
Right. Well, I don't think it's just a knife community thing because with Tim it wasn't. That's what a lot of people don't understand. It was It was the off-road racing community, the hockey community. You know, we didn't even get a chance to add up those numbers. How many thousands of dollars that was. We just know about within the knife community.
Yeah.
Oops, where did Cliff go?
Oh shit! Did he get the band hammer? You know,
Shit happens.
Drugs. All the way around. Yeah, man, I'll be the first to say it. I can look past
That's
almost
nasty.
any difference. If I'm not, if we're talking about knives and hanging out, I always try to see the name. When I look at somebody's name in chat, I try to find the best in people. So I'm going to it with a bias that leaves me open to being fucked over,
Ryan, I had an awesome experience. We went to Captain D's and ate dinner, and there was a whole family that come in after church, and he, I would have to assume, I don't want to assume, but I had the feeling that the matriarch of this family sitting at the head of the table, the big table at Captain D's, the big family table. I would guess he was probably a pastor, but I was just sitting there in awe, watching them and appreciating their just the way they were dressed and all that stuff. But he said he said something. He didn't say it to me. He said it to there's probably 12 of them sitting at this table. He said a term I'd never heard before, but they were just talking about hard times and some negativity. I don't even know what the subject was, but he said he looked up at him and said, "Y'all better be prayed up." I've never heard prayed up before, but it was one of the best things I've ever heard. And he was exactly what you're picturing. Gray suit, alligator skin shoes, orange and white checkered shirt, orange tie, the diamond cufflinks. Dude, I love watching black people walk out of church, dude. Ain't nobody sharper dressed.
Nobody can hang a suit better than a black man.
No, dude. Nobody better dressed than you watch a black family come out of a Baptist church, dude. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And of course,
I tell you what, it doesn't hurt to be prayed up.
No, I just
even if you're praying to the raccoon that you're.
Yeah, I bet that I spoke to him and told him how much I appreciated hearing that, and God, that he told me he loved me 15 times right there at Captain D's. But yeah, I used to love to go to Johnson's on Sunday about 12:30 because a lot of them would come in there to get their groceries.
That's badass, John.
That's a little Kaiser Rook, Ryan.
I like that a lot.
Very interesting knife, designed by a guy from, I think, Newfoundland. He's an independent designer.
Where'd Kyle go?
Somebody timed him out. Probably Cliff.
Cliff can't time him out.
Yeah, Cliff timed him out.
He might have gotten a phone call, or the dog might have been barking.
Yeah. I like all kinds of personalities.
I'm grateful for this community too, guys. And that's what I was going to say.
If you have that prickly personality where you like to poke and poke and poke, some folks are going to get tired of hearing it. That's what happens. I've been there myself.
There's so much good in this community. I mean, I'll always believe that. And I think I'll always, no matter how far I get pushed on the outside of it, I'll always be part of it. Because to me, it means something. It did a lot for me. That's selfish for me to say that, but it did. At a time that I needed it. And, that's giving people a place to hang and vent can be cathartic. I know from being the person that was there venting.
Well, I hate to do with him gone, guys, but we've been at it 3 hours. I know Ryan
is running
on a very limited amount of time with the missus, so I don't want to keep him too long. But I need to get to bed. That's what I'm getting at. So,
Ryan, are you going to get your mail before you leave tomorrow?
Yes, I'll be there all day tomorrow. I'll be at the office all day. So
I'm glad I got to come back for you leaving on me.
Well, it's been 3 hours, man. I need to get sleep. We've already dove a little deeper than we probably should have into some stuff. So, but anyhow,
whatever.
Well, all right, guys. I'm gonna call it.
Love you, kids.
Good
Later,
night,
guys.
guys.
Ryan, make sure you send me some pictures of that shit when you unbox it. I want to lay eyes on that.
It's hot. It's going to catch the mailbox on fire.
Is it?
Yes, it's hot.
I'm excited for you, man.
I love you guys.
It's gonna take a minute.
Yeah. See y'all.
Later.